Checkity check. Yo, what's up, Linda? Walking Miracles here to 256 months. Miss Jessie Star. Pedro in the house. What's up, Monster Pete? Checkity check. Thank you, Walking Miracle. Allie, what's up, Tarsier and Puma? Interesting. All right, let's do the thing. Hey, thank you, Linder. What's happening, everybody? Happy NFTuesday. How the heck are you? Hope you're doing well. Thank you for everybody who's already here early. Linder already snagged this little beauty right here. We got a little movie coming out this weekend, and I made an NFT called NU Means Family. NU means family. I'll get it out. What's up, Misty? How are you now? Make sure you guys fill out the form. I take it, Linder, you've already filled out the form and everything worked okay. Grab it up before you forget. Thank you guys for being here. What's up, Punked? How are you now? What's happening? Linder, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you again for the wonderful gifts. I didn't get a chance to photograph this over the weekend, but I want to do some fun stuff with this. I love this. I love this little snow globe, and I have one out of the box, one in the box. I think Miss Jessie Star got me the other one, and I love looking through there. It does some cool stuff with the light on the other side. I think there's some fun photos to be taken there with my Sully collection. I just got to figure it out. Thank you, Walking Miracle. Appreciate you. Oh, I know what I meant to fix something. I meant to fix my commands, my timer for Whatnot. Join me on Whatnot for live actions. If you're new to Whatnot, get a $15 credit. Actually, no, that's right. I'll be hosting giveaways on Whatnot as well. No purchase necessary to participate. Okay, good. I wanted to make sure that everybody could... I thought it said like I was live currently, but I already did it right. Yo, what's up, Manny? How are you now? Happy 520. Wait, do we celebrate? Does 520 mean anything? Is 520 a special date? What's up, Molly Whopped? How are you now? Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's going to be a pretty chill NFTuesday. Of course, I have the free NFT for you. I've already done some work. What's up, Fort Curator? What's up, Cal Laird? Means you're a month late, which for that holiday, you're probably right on time. You're still right on time. What's up, Red Ranger? Pretty chill NFTuesday. We do have some fun stuff to go over. I got some packs to rip. I made a few notes. There's some changes, some new stuff in Twitchy Tides I wanted to go over. Some fun stuff happening with Funko NFT sales. Priscilla launched Extra Life auctions of the Sune stuff. I want to look at all that. But as always, chat with you guys, catch up, see what's going on, answer questions you may have. And then if we have time at the end, get a little gaming in. I got to dart at 2 on the dot in order to get like a smoothie and then go over and pick up Macy from school. She's done with her after-school activities probably through the end of the year, so she's getting out a little early compared to her normal schedule, and I want to go pick her up, make sure she doesn't have to ride the bus. Can't wait until Saturday. What's happening Saturday? Is this, what are you doing Saturday? Saturday will be what, the 24th? What's happening Saturday? Oh, for Memorial Day weekend, of course. Yeah, the holiday weekends mean a lot more when you work a normal schedule. Oh, the Rocky Moto event in Las Vegas. You're going for it, Carter? Dope. That's awesome. I may or may placed bids on Priscilla's auctions. There's no may not, just may or may. I love it. That's great, Misty. Yeah, for those of you going to the Rocky Moto, anybody else going to Rocky Moto Las Vegas, I hope you have a blast. Heck yeah, fourth character, if I had the money to travel, I would do it in a heartbeat. I'd be going to that, and I'd be probably going to Fun Days to check it out, but I think I'd choose Mike's event over Fun Days, honestly. No, Misty, I think you typed what you meant. I think you typed what you meant. Freudian slip. Let me make sure everything went over to YouTube. It did. Okay, good. There's a few people over there. Don't forget to hit the like button on that if you're over there, and leave comments. Let me put the free NFT info over there as well. There it is. Blink, 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 and paste, and enter. Okay, good. It's there as well, and I can pin it. There we go. Twitter. I brought up the Twitter one as well. I can put it there in the chat, but I don't. Is there any way to pin that? No. All anybody can do is reply to it. But Twitter lives to me are very interesting. Of course, no politics here. I'm not talking politics. But love it or hate it, Elon Musk owns Twitter and is done a lot of good things with it over the last year, in my opinion. There's still a lot of nonsense on there, and some people will say their stream is filled with hatred and anger. You can combat that in a lot of ways. Just saying. But I feel like he has himself leaned into the live streaming a little bit. He's done some stuff like gaming on his own and testing using his Starlink and all that. But there's still no emphasis on the live in maybe competing directly with YouTube and Twitch. And I feel like he's in a position to do something pretty amazing with it. Like, there's a way to do what Twitch is doing, but in some ways do it better with Twitter. I have a built-in audience there. It would be nicer for me if things were popping off over there. But like, as a creator, I got to go to a separate hidden area, set up stuff, go live. Finding my live is tricky. Finding the chat for the live is tricky. It needs a lot of work still. It's unfortunate that it's not better, but maybe it's on the horizon. Maybe he's got stuff on the horizon. And it's very slow. I just saw Fourth Curator's "Can't Wait Till Saturday" comment pop up over on Twitter. Just now. Oh, wait a minute. That might have been partially me. Oh, wait a minute. There's the delay. That might have been partially me. Let me mute it. You guys just heard the delay. It's not that bad at all. Maybe you're just a robot? I hope not. Wait a minute. There was another comment that was held. Hey, there's a sub. Now why am I not seeing that audio? Oh boy, I'll figure it out one day. Autumn's Toys resubscribed 60 months at tier 1. But then 59 months. It says resubscribe for 60 months at tier 1. They've been subscribed for 59 months. Which is it? How can you be resubscribed for 60 months but 59 months? I don't... Twitch, you drunk? I don't get it. Oh no, hear the revenge. I had an electrician out this past week, $1,700 to do the work. Ugh. Home ownership, man, has its privileges, but boy, you get to pay for that stuff. Whereas renting, not necessarily. They both have their pluses and minuses. What's up, Magic Mike? How you doing? Natu6, happy NF Tuesday to you, my friend. How are you? Oh yeah, I totally had to skip Fun Days and Thrill Joy events due to fun. See? Ding dangle. But sold a Freddy Funko Wolverine yellow suit. Oh, now I've got one of those I'll be selling at some point. I actually pulled it aside. Those go for big bucks. I've got the Wolverine yellow suit. It's the... What is it? Toy-tastic? No, not Toy-tastic. Who is it exclusive to? And I've got the glow-in-the-dark one as well. I can see it in my... I can see the sticker in my head, but I can't get the name of the... Who did that exclusive back then? Darth Wacko! What's happening? How are you now? And Savage! I think that means they skipped a month. But boy, does anybody actually at 60 months? I didn't feel like we were at 60 months yet. Maybe we are. That would be 5 years exactly. And I guess May would have been right for me going, because it was in March that February or March I started on Mixer, and then we were several months in, and I was gonna go for partner, and then like right as I was getting to the number, they had like 2,000 followers. Right as I was getting to that number, they shut down Mixer. I remember that when I got the text, and everybody's like, "Oh, you're not gonna believe this," because I had said I'm not going to Twitch. Well, guess where I'm at. And it's been a good transition. Don't get me wrong. I love Twitch. Has it been good to me lately? They're doing a lot of things that's making it tough on us streamers. The income is way down compared to what it once was. Like they're testing things, but they're really pushing those ads, and I'm not getting much of it. So I depend on the subs, and unfortunately those are down as well, even with all the generosity of so many people. I'm not bad-mouthing anybody here. I'm just saying in general, like we don't get as much as we once did. It's a shame. Mine has started saying I've been subbed for longer than my streak actually is, the kind of things I remember. Right, Walking Miracle? Next Whatnot stream will be tomorrow. I think, what did I put as a start time on tomorrow? I want to say like 2. No, that doesn't work. What did I put down for tomorrow? I'm experimenting with times, so I won't have a set schedule just yet. But what I'm finding out is, unfortunately, the evenings are going to be best. Because just that's when people are on. Come on, I'm getting to it. Oh, my rating of 5 is up. That's good. Shows. Tomorrow at 2, which may have to talk to Kelly. I didn't know Macy would be getting out of school, so I may have to change that time. But as of right now, it's tomorrow at 2, and then Thursday at 5:30 p.m. What's up, Asteroid Eater? What's up, Mindy? How are you? I think I will be at 60 months and 11 days since I changed from tier 1 to tier 2. Wait, did that alter your number of months? Toytastic. I think that's it, 926. Good call. Yeah. Yellow Wolverine from Zap Comics? No. I think Toytastic... Well, now I'm thinking about Toytastic's other stickers. Maybe not. I have to look it up. What's the inspiration for the free NFT this week? Is that Stitch? It is inspired by a Lilo and Stitch. Good call. The name of the NFT this week is NU means family. So that also a little hint. Nope, not number of months, but it did change my sub date. Interesting. Interesting. But thank you for tier 2. I appreciate that, Misty. Once upon a time, I tried to do some special things for tier 2 and tier 3 subscribers, but it became so problematic. They won't... Twitch doesn't share, and this is a good security feature, won't share the personal information of the users. I can't, as a tier 2, tier 3 subscriber, unlike something like Ko-fi or what's the other big one? It starts with the P. Patron? No, wait. I'm right there. I'm right there. Patreon. Thank you. Hear the revenge. Unlike those where it's meant for me to be able to do stuff for you, where I can send you like physical items or emails or whatever, Twitch doesn't share any of that. So I had the hardest time getting a hold of some people that were tier 2 and tier 3 subscribers, to the point where like I didn't know who they were. I couldn't even send them an email. The name didn't mean anything to me, which bummer. So I was sitting on all the stuff I was trying to send, and it just became such a pain that I've done away with it. But I wish there was a way that I could just send an email to all my tier 2 and tier 3 subscribers. They did away with those messages that we once had the ability to send. They did away with that. So I can't track them down, and it just became a pain. Monster Pete says, hey, the fourth curator, Rocky Moto still has tickets for LV? Las Vegas. Capital V. I forgot. Please let me know. I need to buy tickets. I don't remember, but I thought they sold out. Nadu said I was lucky to get 3 Kippy off Priscilla's site yesterday. Was hoping to get more, but they sold out. Oh, I didn't even know more went up. Ding dang, all missed it. Not that I should be buying any more right now, but I tell you what Priscilla did do. Let's look at this. Priscilla did launch some auctions for Extra Life. There we go. Extra Life 32 auctions. So 32 auctions is a site that I use for auctions, and so does Priscilla. It's really, for how much you have to pay, which is next to nothing, a really good auction site. She's got some Sunes up. Let's take a look if we can follow the link. Here you go. She's got, it starts yesterday, goes to the 25th, which is, I just looked this up, Sunday. Remember, you got a holiday weekend coming up, Memorial Day weekend, so could be tricky if you're traveling or whatever. Don't miss out. Go ahead and bid on these. Don't wait till the last second. Get your bid in so you don't regret it, and I think you'll get pinged with messages if you're outbid or something. Look at this. We got a Conversation Hatsune AP artist proof. There's no reason this should be at $26. The retail on them is like 60 or 70, and this is an artist proof. Get those bids in now. Don't wait till the end. Conversation Hatsune AP Pink. That's at $35. The Digital Pet Sune Pin lot that includes a raw pin proto is only at $26. The beautiful LE50 Sune tumbler is at $12. The Mocha Latte Sune AP at $79. Now we're talking. That was from Emerald City Comic Con. I actually got one of those. I got Mint 5. It's sitting over there. Mint number 5. The Soft Serve Sune AP Purple. That was a lot of S's. Is at $30. And the Soft Serve Sune AP Yellow is at $50. These should all go for a minimum of $100. So 1, 2, 3, 4. That'd be $500. And then this pin lot could get there. That'd be $600. Tumbler, I think you get to at least $30, $40, $50. So you're looking at like $650 of items that she's donated out of the goodness of her heart. Linder, I certainly can. She didn't have to do any of this, but she did. So let's certainly make it worth the while. If these go for $40, that's kind of a slap in the face, honestly. What am I doing? I'm not putting it on Twitter. I'm putting it right here for Linder and everybody else. There you go. Yo, Cypher Smurf. I don't want to badmouth Funko. This is a great question. I don't want to badmouth Funko in any way. I want Funko to succeed. I need Funko to succeed. As a longtime Fun Days participant, I've been going since 2013. Haven't missed a year. I went some as a fan collector. I went some as an employee. I'm back. I went back to being like a fan, ex-employee, ex-family, if you will. And I enjoyed the Fun Days for sure. And I love the opportunity to pick up on the sweet boxes of fun and the protos and all that stuff. Mostly for me is about seeing friends. Now, fast forward to now, and they've made this interesting decision in a time where they're struggling. I think the cost of trying to do Fun Days at SDCC would not have worked for them. And you don't have Mike. You don't have the same team. So it's a different story. For me, I would love to go check it out. But one, I'm a little hesitant about the format. That's what you're asking about, and I'll get there. And two, expense. I can't even afford to go to San Diego Comic-Con, but I'm doing it anyway. I'm selling stuff from my collection, so I can afford things like that. I certainly can't afford another trip out to California and hotel and Ubers and food and the tickets and all that. It's unfortunate for those of us who are, in that boat. But we probably shouldn't be going and spending that money if we can't afford to go, right? As far as format goes, I'm a little concerned. I think it's going to be much like HQ grand opening. And I called this before the tickets went on sale. Somebody tell me if I'm wrong on any of these details. But you bought your tickets was for a time slot. Somebody said that you're going to be starting new waves every 30 minutes. So to me, it feels like you're going to go in. You're going to go from area to area through Hollywood. You're going to either play games or interact in some way, or you're going to be able to shop at the same time. Of course, it makes sense for them to try and sell stuff while you're there. At some point, you're going to get your box of fun, and then you're going to end up in an area where you can mingle, have some food and drinks or whatever, and then get out because we have a maximum capacity. I think what'll be missing is the big, fun group environment. There'll be people out on the street hanging out. There's be some people selling stuff from their box of funds or trading, or they'll bring their protos. Be very careful. People bring fake protos to those things because I don't know if they're going to even give away protos. I kind of doubt it, honestly. I think they're making money by selling those off through some other areas. But I think it's gonna feel different. Is that bad? Not necessarily. Is it going to be different for those of us who've been going to it for a long time? Is it going to feel so different we don't like it? I think very possible, but I won't find out. I'll have to hear from everybody else. I'm not bad-mouthing Funko. I want and need them to succeed, and I hope that they're able to get through this very difficult time to get back to being the company they once were. That comes through connecting with your fans. What's up, Dan Asker? Happy Tuesday. Happy NF Tuesday. That comes from connecting with your fans, and that's something that post-COVID and post the Funcast crew and post like Mike and Brian, those people that you knew and wanted to connect with from the company and wanted to connect with your friends at these events, that's all changed drastically. I don't think they can ever get back to what it was in the 2017 through COVID era. Maybe actually going back like 2012 to COVID era was really strong with connecting with the fans and friends and all that. Can they evolve into something else? Certainly. There's, unfortunately for me, there's a lot of people in those that show up at those events that seem very entitled, and they're only worried about how much can I get for these things, and like it's sad in some ways. You do need a little of that to set pricing in your secondary, tertiary markets, but I think it's gotten overrun with the sneakerhead mentality. And it's a bummer to me. I hate seeing people treat each other badly, and sadly, that's what happens at times. Right, Cypress Smurf? I hope it can be better, and the only way that happens is if the community that once was shows up in force and just simply doesn't tolerate that stuff. I don't mean fighting and war. I just mean kindness overwhelming the negativity. Show up, have a good time, generous to each other. Be kind to one another. If someone wants to make a deal, great. If they don't, fine, walk away, you know? Nobody deserves a special place in line. Nobody... Since Funko threw me to the curb, when I've gone, I have not asked for any special privilege, nor have I gotten any. I bought my own Fun Days tickets. I thought I was going to miss out a couple of times, and other fans came through, and I was able to go anyway. They haven't given me crap at all. Nothing. Zero. Zilch. Nada. And I've still gone and enjoyed it and had fun to what I could. And now that's over. A new hotel opened off of Chula Vista off one of the trolley stops. It's a resort. Expensive, but a hotel option. So they're hard to come by. Is that what you're saying? The hotels? Cypress Smurf, I had a Saturday ticket last year, and I stayed in line from Friday morning to Saturday night to set the record for longest wait, and I was surrounded by people there for the wrong reasons. Yeah, I've seen way too much of that. I've seen a lot of good familiar faces too. Don't get me wrong. It's not completely that kind of negative fan stuff. There's still a lot of good people there, but unfortunately, I think they're starting. A lot of them are retreating. A lot of them are moving over to Rocky Moto, to Thrill Joy, and we'll see how that goes. On Priscilla's auctions, remember proxy bids. They're the best, says Walking American. Good reminder. Nadu said people talk about Star Wars. We talk about Fun Wars. It's all about that Emperor on the Battle Pass, says Astrod. We're talking about Fortnite at all. You just trying to change the subject. Fourth curator, so due to funds and them hosting at Hollywood, I had to skip. Yep, 100%. I want them to do well. I hope that people come out of this party like, wow, that was the coolest. Like, they did stuff they've never done before, and I loved it, and I got a proto, and I got, I hope people have a blast. I don't want to poop on it. That's not the point. I'm not that other group on YouTube that talks smack about Funko nonstop to make content. Yeah, it's unfortunate. I hate that it ever changed. I wish I still worked there, and I wish we were still having a blast, and COVID had never happened, and the stock was up and strong, and all the things I had hoped for it then, I still hope for it now, but it's tricky, man. Did you guys hear? Diamond Collectibles, Diamond Distribution, sold to another company, and they immediately shut down the collectibles division. This came out yesterday. Diamond Select. All right, Nadu, no, we're not getting into that. Let's look at this. Your Kingdom Hearts stream with the Funcast was one of my favorite. Oh, we had a blast with that. That was so fun. I remember trying to go through all the cutscenes because those stories are so long. Astro Eater, you hadn't heard, huh? Yeah, let's see if we can find any news on this. Diamond Select Toys has closed. I'm reading this, and then I'll figure out if this is good information or not. Yeah, industry vet Mark Herr confirms Diamond Select Toys shut down amid restructuring. So this company, Ad Populum, which I hadn't really heard of, but I found out they also own NECA, acquired Diamond Comic Distributors, which is huge. They do all of the comic book distribution, or at least they did years ago. I don't think that's changed for decades. They filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy, which does not mean the company is going bankrupt. It simply means they're restructuring and trying to make the business profitable again. People see that wrong all the time. They understand that wrong. But Ad Populum stepped in and bought them, which this is not uncommon for companies to get bought when they're filing for restructuring like that. This is the unfortunate part. All Diamond Select Toys employees were laid off, confirmed by industry veteran Mark Herr, who lamented the loss of colleagues like purchasing manager Steve Leaf. Founded in '99, Diamond Select Toys was known for licensed collectibles from franchises like Marvel and Star Wars. It was among the assets sold during the auction where Ad Populum partnered with Universal Distribution to acquire Diamond remaining divisions after a contested bidding process. So they probably didn't get what they were hoping for. So essentially, they're going to still handle the comic book distribution, but the toy division is done skis. And that's really unfortunate because there's already been so much change over the last few years. I personally was not a huge fan of the stuff that Diamond Select had. I don't even bother going to their booth during San Diego Comic-Con because a lot of it to me was mass-produced, was overproduced, and wasn't truly a collectible to me. And they did some partnering with Funko over the years to make some figures, but they would do stuff like LE 20,000, and to me that was like, it doesn't make any sense. Hopefully, maybe, they're just going to reset and come back strong, but I have a feeling they're not going to do the toy division at all. It's a tough business, man. Really tough business, especially with all this tariff stuff. Yeah, I think Marvel and DC went with another distributor because they were not happy with Diamond. Okay, now see, I didn't know that. That's news to me. They were shipping comics in bulk to comic stores. I mean, they're a distributor, so they distribute the comic books. Yeah, the comic book stores would get large boxes of comics. That's how it works. I don't think I understand what you're saying, Asteroid Eater. Like a comic book store would say, hey, I want these Marvel comic books, and Marvel would work with Diamond, who would distribute them in boxes, in mass, to the store. Like that was what they wanted. I'm sorry if I misunderstood what you're trying to say there. But that's a shame. That's a real shame that there's yet another company that's struggling and is now essentially they're done. Anything Diamond Select that you got before, and if you've been to their booth, you can remember the kind of things they had. All that's gone bye-bye. That's a real shame. The industry is a-changing. Any thoughts or questions on that? Like, I don't know a whole lot, but maybe go do your reading and find out more. Clearly, I didn't know Marvel and DC were using a different distributor. That's news to me. I'd have to look that up. Like, who is that? What's that company? I feel like there's such an opportunity for, like, we've talked about this before. The toy manufacturing is done overseas. Now there's these tariffs bringing it in, makes the price very expensive. There's lots of people with ideas that want to make figures and stuff. That it's simply not an option unless you got tens of thousands of dollars. Like my figure that my buddy Sean made at Display Geek, he had a mold made that cost thousands of dollars. He found a manufacturer. This was all right at the beginning of COVID. He found a manufacturer who would produce it. By the time they produced it and sent it, the cost had gone up because the supply chain. So he already had to pay like a 30 or 40% premium. And then by the time it got here, he had to pay more for shipping, and he had to pay more for storage. By the time he actually sold it, he took a loss on every figure. And he wasn't selling them cheap. They were like 60, 70 bucks when they came out, right? Wasn't cheap. He wanted to make that into a continued line of figures, but it just got too expensive too quick. Hey, Priscilla, what's happening? We just looked at your auctions. Well, let's look at them one more time to remind everybody. Nadu said, don't think they will have a booth at SDCC. No. If they had a space, they're probably trying to sell it to somebody else. There's always a chance that they're required to show up as a company and they'll do something there, but I doubt it would be anything very engaging. Toys should be tariff exempt. I'm sure we all want that, right? But that's not how that works. Yeah, let's look at it one more time. Just a reminder, Priscilla's auctions are live, and I'll drop the link in here. This stuff is going way too cheap right now. I hope you guys will go ahead and bid. You'll use the proxy bids. It looked like somebody did and upped it just a little bit, but these things are selling under her retail price right now, and that retail price, these are APs. These are artist proofs. These should be going for $100 easy. Hopefully we'll get there. The select figures were bigger than the Marvel Legend Hasbro figures, so they didn't work well with displays. You know, there's something that, yo, Jungle Bride, what's up, baby? There's something that really puzzles me. I was thinking about this the other day. When you're a manufacturer, a company making stuff for people to collect, one of the things, the magic that made Funko work was the box format. They stayed, for the most part, like 10-20% of their stuff is in other size boxes, but they stayed with the standard format size box. It's small enough and easy enough to put on your shelf and stack. A lot of shelving units. You can do different configurations to show off. You can still see your figure. I've always said that since I was at Funko, I think the magic in the Funko Pops, one of the smartest things they ever did was changing that packaging from the Funko Force 2.0 clamshell to this box. And I even said it, and it took him a year to get there and a lot of pain. If Brian Mariotti had, hired me, he could have gotten past this. I said from the get-go, his figures should have come in the same size box as Funko Pops. Could have looked very different on the outside, but what he was creating, very cool-looking figures in the blue and the licensed stuff. If they had come in boxes like this, it would have been a hit right out of the gate, because you could easily, as a collector, still buy it and put it in your collection with the other stuff. You know, if this was all Sully Pops behind me, I'd be able to buy a Sully Thrill Joy when it came out and just insert it right in my collection. Had he done that, he would have saved himself probably hundreds of thousands of dollars. Now he's reformatting. There's a new box. I don't think it's that same size box, but it's at least a lot more manageable. So hopefully he'll be successful there. I was thinking about this. Mike Becker, love the man. Not talking any smack about him at all, but the Rocky Moto, I've still not opened. I need to do this unboxing video. I've had it for like a month. By the way, they had more of these at my mini-so over the weekend. I saw them. Just can't afford to buy a bunch. This is a beautiful package. I love this package. It's so very cool, but the package has got to go when you're done, unless you found a way to sit your figure on top, and even then you can't stack them. You can't show them off except for out of the package. And unfortunately, that becomes a difficult thing when we're talking about displaying your collection. Priscilla, I think they were trying to give the premium designer toy experience, but forgetting that most designer toy collectors display without packaging. Yeah, I mean, they took a stab at something. They tried something. Kudos to them. But I think that would have been a nice additional item to try, instead of going all in from day one on it, because I'm sure they're sitting on a hell of a lot of inventory at very big costs to them. It's a Funko size box, got one at WonderCon. So see, if only they'd done that out of the gate, I think things would have been very different. And you could go back to my VODs here. I said it before Thrill Joy, when we just knew Thrill Joy as a logo. I was like, if he will go after licensed stuff and keep the same size box, he's got something on his hands. And then they made those huge displays. I haven't even seen one in person. I don't own one, so I don't know how, other than the pictures I've seen, I don't really know how to, in my head, how I would put that in here, you know. Peking says, are you, Brian and Mike, working on forcing people to take them out of the box? Wait, what, Peking? Are you, Brian and Mike, working? That phrase right there kills me. I'm certainly not talking to any of those guys about their products and how they're doing things. Forcing people to take them out of the box? Wait, what? They should have talked to whales and other collectors instead of just influencers. Yes. Yep. Talk to the people that buy. Talk to the people that collect. The influencers are, they're in it to make bucks, man. Like, with the exception of your Top Pops, Wasatch, a few others. The influencers that they worked with are people that they're not gonna go heavy. They're gonna have a few items because they're influencers. But yo, Finest Funko, what's up, baby? Peking says, oh, whoops, just Brian and Mike. Not sure why I added you. Okay, I'm still confused. They're definitely not forcing anyone to take anything out of box. In fact, you can't with those Thrill Joys. They can't be detached. So it's weird, like why they made that decision. I don't think anyone would ever want to tell people how to collect. You want people to collect naturally, but you want to give them options. And it's been proven for a decade that in-box collectors make up a large percentage of what happens with Funko. So why you wouldn't mimic that knowing its success rate is beyond me. Did I complete the D&D royalty? I completed one. We are going to talk Funko NFTs in a minute. I completed one. I'm working on my second already. Jungle Bride said maybe he meant you, me, and my friend Mike T working. Yes, that's it. Our new toy company. Linda said I saw one at Hot Topic, a Thrill Joy 2 large. I've never seen one at a Hot Topic. That's interesting. I didn't know they got into Hot Topics. Priscilla said the influencers like stuff that looks good on camera and have layers to unbox. Collectors have minimal shelf space and want that small footprint. Yeah, 100%. And I've said this going back till even before my Funko days. There was a small line Funko made once upon a time with Hot Topic that was the Daredevil Pops with the sleeve. I've said forever that Funko Pops should, if it's going to have a chase, should come with that sleeve and be shrink wrapped. And then you take the sleeve off to find out if you got the chase or not. I would have told Brian to do that from day one. You can still see the glams and everything online. You could have some that don't have chases on the shelf at retail stores, so you get an idea for the style of the figure. And then you have those, you would sell them like hotcakes, just like the sodas did for a while because of the unknown. The idea of the chase on the shelf at a Hot Topic of a Funko Pop or wherever you would find one has always been problematic because it's right there. You get lucky if you find it, but you don't really find it because other people grab it behind in the back. Employees grab them. If you get lucky to find one on a shelf, it usually goes so quick you're not going to find it. Finest says those Thrill Joys are thick. You're not wrong. Let's see. Pro tip: you want a successful company, employ Priscilla as your first employment, then Sully, and then watch the trend. Hey, look, I can only speak for Priscilla. I'm not gonna hype myself up other than to say I would love to do that. Priscilla would be great, but Priscilla's got her thing, and I think she needs to stick with it. I don't know why Sune and Toratai and Kippy aren't household names for all collectors. I hope it gets there. Her stuff's amazing. She's doing wonderful work. I love designer toys in general, but most of them are out of my price range. Her stuff is way more affordable for me. I think it would be a great hire. And then Priscilla says, hire Sully before me. I mean, we'd make a good combo, right? Bring us in. Let's do it. Let's do it. Priscilla, let's go. It was a female. She didn't even know why she liked Thrill Joy. Oh, wait, I missed the first part of this. You should have been at the WonderCon panel. One was a total sneakerhead. Oh, interesting. Here they're used a curse word in my stream. I take 10 seconds, no chase, keep moving. I'm not going to allow the use of that word. I'm going to deny that here, the Revenge. We have a small fart logo if you want to use that. They should, but you know if I say they should hire Sully first, he will blush and turn into a tomato on stream. A tomato? Is that what I do? I love it. Agree completely on the sleeve idea. I would add non-destructive removal so you can easily remove the figures without compromising the box. 1,000,000%. 1,000,000%. I don't get why other companies. There was one company that did it before Thrill Joy got into the right size box. I keep using this as an example because the box is, I've said this for many, many years, the box is what made Funko successful. The figures are amazing, but this box with the window and the easy to open, take your figure in and out, does not damage the box if you do it right, does not reduce the value if you do it right. Don't let people tell you otherwise. It's brilliant. And there was a company called Pixel Pals that I love. These light up pixelated figures like Mario. They had the Nintendo license, go figure. They did Mortal Kombat. They did all kinds of stuff. They used the exact same size box. When I saw it, I was like, brilliant. Now I can buy the same protectors and the same sleeves. Unfortunately, Pixel Pals did not get the love it deserved, and it died as quickly as it came onto the scene. They would have been, but other companies should be doing it. Why wouldn't you? There's already shelving, protectors, stackers, all kinds of special things formatted to that box size, which is not protected. It's not copywritten, trademarked, whatever. That box size, you can do it. You're not copycatting. You're working into the ecosystem. Tomato stream, let's go. I wish I had a filter that just made my head a giant tomato right now. I need a jumbo Kippy in my collection. Finally got my first Kippies yesterday. Nice, Nadu. Nice. Thank you for your purchase. I'm going to package them all up tonight. S-tier shipping. Yo, what's up, Buzz King? How are you now? Mindy said, Buzz, are you calling me a nerd? Absolutely. But that's the nicest compliment. Nerd is not a bad word. Nerd's a good word. Nerds unite, baby. I think it's so funny. I'm not saying this about you, Mindy. I think you're joking around with us. I think it's so funny when somebody takes being called a nerd as a negative thing. I'm like, you just got complimented. All this tomato talk is giving me a heartburn. Does anyone in your family like tomatoes, Jungle Bry? I mean, Kelly will eat some stuff with tomatoes. Like, Macy hates tomatoes in general. No red sauce, no tomatoes, no chunks of tomatoes. Dweeb or dork, I don't think are very nice terms. I love ketchup. I put that on everything. No, so see, this is the biggest problem, Priscilla. Kelly will eat the tomato sauce. She just doesn't like a lot of tomato sauce. She likes it pretty thin. Macy hates it. And it is such a problem here because you know how I love pizza. If we get pizza, we have to go to Papa Murphy's. And we get they have a Alfredo sauce, or for Kelly and I, we get the combo that's Alfredo and tomato. It's okay. It's not as good as I like a marinara, a red sauce. I like it a little spicy, and I like a lot of it. Oh, I figured, Mindy. I like a lot of it. I used to get extra, and then one time Kelly was like, "Why is there so much sauce?" And I'm like, "Oh, sorry." Jungle Bride said, wait, I saw it. I love tomatoes, ketchup, etc. It just hurts me. Yeah, I guess maybe it's not who in the family likes it. I guess who in the family can partake. I should have said it. Lamexis, chicks don't like nerds. I disagree. I'm married. Spaghetti sauce equals good. Spaghetti sauce with tomato chunks equals bad. Well, I like both. I used to make chili a lot, and I made it with the stewed tomatoes, and I loved a good chunky tomato-based chili. I won't eat tomatoes, but I love pizza sauce, says Chuck. Well, you're in Detroit. If you didn't like pizza, if you publicly stated you didn't like pizza, wouldn't they kick you out of Detroit? The Detroit area? You need garden tomatoes. New Jersey ones are the best. Greenhouse tomatoes are just wrong all around, says Misty. Priscilla loves extra red sauce. All right, next time we have pizza, we're getting extra red sauce, Priscilla. We get light sauce and an extra cup of sauce. Kelly will often get the, when we order pizza, I just order pizza. She likes the extra stuff too, so we'll get the bread, like garlic bread or the garlic knots or whatever. And I'll eat a couple, right? But I'm like all about the pizza. And it'll come with the dipping sauce, the red sauce. And so I'll dip my pizza in that. Haha, but you don't look like a nerd. I think the word nerd, it can apply to a lot of people. Nathan Fillion's a nerd. I don't think he looks like a nerd. Maybe you do. There's a lot of people I think that. Perfect example. Henry Cavill is a nerd. He does not look like a nerd. Dude is Superman, but he is a total nerd. My wife loves raw tomatoes, but is allergic and gets sores when she eats. Oh my God, that sucks. How is she still in the state? Some barbecue sauces are made with ketchup or tomatoes. I'm sure I've had some. I just didn't know. Rouse Arabiata. I'm sure I butchered that 8 ways to Sunday. Sauce is my new obsession. Never heard of it. I'm gonna look for it now. This is a jarred sauce at the store. Now we need a ketchup mustard Sune 2-pack for SDC this year. Not all nerds are equal. Oh, there's a good shirt. Vin Diesel also, yes, absolutely. I appreciate the coming to America. Aha! That lives rent-free in my head 24 hours a day. I thought all barbecue sauces use ketchup as a base. I don't know. I don't know how to. I don't make barbecue sauce. I buy it. I went to the store the other day. I need a barbecue sauce, and there's the regular barbecue sauce by like all these different companies in the plastic bottles. I try to avoid the plastic bottles. I look for glass when it comes to stuff like that. Those bottles, the plastic ones, are like $4. The glass bottles are like $6. And looking at the contents, the plastic ones had high fructose corn syrup and some other junk in there I don't want. The glass bottle had real sugar. I'm gonna go that way too, right? The glass bottle, Stubbs, was buy 2, get 2 free. It's not freaking fireworks. I don't need 4 jars of barbecue sauce. I'm not operating a barbecue store. What is happening? I'm not making barbecue. I just want a jar. Can we get a discount on one jar? No, it was buy two, get two free. I bought one. I'm not doing it. That's gonna last 6 months. It's fine. Arrabbiata is a spicy marinara. Rao's is a brand that is way better quality than your okay, I'm gonna look for that. Rao. Ryan Reynolds is also a nerd. So is Hugh Jackman. Yes, there we go. Good example. Does anyone do garlic pesto sauce for their pizza? We do the pesto sauce. No, not pesto. We do the Alfredo sauce, but I would definitely try a garlic pesto sauce. I'd prefer marinara, but. Barbecue sauce, brown sugar, lemon juice, and a spice. I started getting Kinder's. Ooh, wonder if that's from Kinder, Louisiana. Stubbs spicy barbecue sauce is amazing. Yeah, I couldn't get the spicy because the spice don't do well around here with the family. I would at 1,000,000% get it for myself, but I'm not the only one eating it. They were trying to get rid of inventory with that deal. I assume, but I saw more of that at the store than I've seen before. The chips were the same thing. Buy two, get two free. Mr. Frito, I want a bag of Cheetos. I don't want 4 bags of Cheetos that I'm gonna have to eat before they go stale. And I'm certainly not paying, like 11 and change for 4 bags of chips. I think the chips is another aisle that I laugh when I go down it. No way am I paying you $5 or $6 a bag for air and a few chips. Y'all are insane. I wait till there's a really good deal and the chips are like $2 a bag and then I do it. And then I stock up. Einstein collected toys. Did that make him I didn't know that. That's cool, Manny. Time to chat to vote. Would you buy some Sully barbecue sauce? Nah, I'm not getting into the food industry. Oh, Lamexis. I'm not saying that out loud. Pizza is pizza sauce. Wait, yeah, pizza is pizza sauce. Any other sauce makes it a flatbread. So pizza has pizza. Okay, I got you. Try the mushroom truffle frozen pizza at Costco. No. Ugh, mushroom truffle. Oh, they would love it. I would hate it. Mushrooms, blah, can't do it. Mushrooms and olives are like just an absolute slap in the face to humanity. I can't stand them. Tanner says, how can that be profitable? Frito, I don't know how they're making money right now. I do not. When I go to the store, I look around and I go, how are people affording all these groceries? It's insane what they want to charge for stuff now. I'm a bargain hunter. I buy the meat on the day of at 50% off. It's still good. I'm going to cook it that night. We're good. I buy stuff on discount at Costco or when it's on sale at the store and stock up. I don't just blindly grab stuff and buy it, ever. I will buy the off-brand. The only thing I'll be careful about is like buying stuff that has too much fake sugar or any fake sugar or too many oils. You know, sunflower oil, any of that stuff. I try to steer clear of that, and that makes it tricky. Sounds like a store problem rather than a brand problem. I don't know how that pricing works. Rao isn't the same anymore. A different company owns them now, and the ingredients aren't top. Oh, that stinks. We do buy 2 bags, get a third free. I mean, if the price is right, okay. Truffles, I love. Truffles, I do love. But the olives and olives and mushrooms, no. Mushroom truffle, isn't that just mushroom? Yeah, I mean, technically, but the taste is so different. Truffles are actually good. Jungle Bryce says, Chuck, you were 100% right about that pizza flatbread take. Bags of chips need to have air. Otherwise, I'm fine with that. Just not like this bag and you shake it and you can tell there's this much chip. A little air, yeah, but not the crazy amount they put in some of those. Oh, I love mushrooms and green olives. Oh, Darth Wacko. Cowboys fan. Fried mushrooms with a side of fresh homemade ranch. Okay, fried mushrooms are okay. So are fried olives. It totally changes the taste. I've had that. I'm okay with that. That was a line from Game Night, a movie line that lives. I love that movie. I need to rewatch that again. Not a third, get 3 bags free. Wait, buy 2, get 3 bags free? Oh. I mean, if the 2 bags cost me in total less than $10, I'm in. Can't find that here. Cutie Beck says, just found out I won a logo swag pack from Whatnot. Oh, cool, Cutie Beck. Like as part of Whatnot Con? That's awesome. I know, but they don't taste the same, Walking Miracle. Truffles and mushrooms, different in my opinion. I usually buy a $1.50 hot dog at Costco and ask for croutons to simulate. Big difference in words. The chip crunch. Never had a crouton on a hot dog. That's an interesting one. Fried okra. No, I'm not a big fried okra fan. My brother loves it. Chuck. I agree. I love Darth Wacko, but come on. So what is everyone's opinion on Warner Brothers changing Max to HBO Max? I can't even. Ridiculous. Somebody told them as a marketing thing 5 years ago, be a bank. Change your name every few years to keep it fresh. And then they were like, okay, cool. And then they got in a room and like, all right, we went HBO Now. We went HBO Max. We went Max. Now what? And somebody's like, HBO Max again? Done. All right. It was probably AI. They probably asked AI. It's the same as the Plus. Disney Plus. Everybody went with the Plus. You can't hashtag that. It's moronic in my opinion. Is it Plus? It's a streaming service. I don't like that as a name either. But to go back? Punk says, yeah, I have that deal this week on chips and soda. So the bags are $6 each, so 12 for 5 bags. So that comes out to an average of what, $2.50 a piece? I'd do that. That's a deal. Has a personality disorder. HBO will be, next year. HM, Jungle Bride, my mom once asked for a box to take home for her 6 leftover croutons. I've heard this story so many times and I love it. Oh, we joked here at the house that we're like, does she have like a crouton collection? Is she like, does she go get croutons at every store and put them in a bigger bag that never empties out? I just laugh so hard at that. She's such a sweet woman. And so I can't make fun of her. But that was a funny story. Such a funny story. All right, let's talk NFTs. I love this discussion, but let's talk Droppp. I'm sure there's some people here who left because they were like, I don't get why they're talking about all this stuff. Just a big reminder, tomorrow, Adventure Time Snapshot, or Upcoming as they call it. They have 8 different names for what's happening here, but tomorrow is a snapshot. Notice there's nothing above Upcoming. Everything that we had tokens for had been turned in and is done. There's usually another section above this. Once again, for the millionth time, I think this should be a calendar. We don't need one section at the top with some dates, and then you start over with a whole new section with other dates. It's about what's coming up next. May 21st, that's tomorrow. So let's take a look at your Adventure Time stuff. As always, your checklist. Make sure you complete your royalty sets, and you make sure you have completed royalty sets. So if you think you got it, double check and make sure that it's completed. Let's go down to Adventure Time. I've got 2 royalty sets. I thought I had 2 royalty sets, so I'm good. If you have any extra epics, sell them. I had 1 extra epic I think I sold. It sold overnight. If you need to complete a royalty set, you got a couple that are going to make it tough. If you didn't already complete them with the epics, this Marceline and this Susan Strong holographic, there's 1 every time that makes it trick, and that's $20. If you've got some of those extras, or you're not going to complete royalty sets and you're holding any of these epics, get them sold. You can buy them back next week way cheaper, or actually tomorrow afternoon, way cheaper. Don't hold if you're not going to have epics unless you're going to complete those royalty sets. If you want to, you can sell extra rares or uncommons or whatever, but they're going to get you like a nickel to 10 cents. And then you buy them back at the same price. It doesn't make sense. Yo, what's up, Flantality? How are you now? So make sure you complete those royalty sets. Make sure that if you think you have that many royalty sets, you see the number up here. You've got the right number. There's no, after tomorrow at 11 a.m., there's no takesies backsies. What happens is they literally take a snapshot. That's why when they do use that word, that's what it is. They look at every wallet, every NFT, and where it's at in that second. If you buy an NFT 1 second later and try to complete a royalty set, no good. It's not going to help you. So you got to get it ready before 11 a.m. Pacific tomorrow. Yeah, but he's so happy, Chuck. You think he looks that way? He's so happy. Question: if someone wants to send me USDC to my DP wallet, do I tell them my DP wallet name or that Solana code. The Solana code, yeah. They're not going to be able to send anything but NFTs to your whatever your is .dp. It's got to be that Solana code. What I would recommend, because I haven't sent wallet to wallet like that before, what I would recommend is have them send a small amount first to verify that it works, like $1. Then if it does work, then send the rest. You're not going to pay any extra going wallet to wallet, I don't think, for transferring $1 and then transferring $99 or whatever the difference was. Be very careful. If you try to send a big amount first and it doesn't work, you're screwed, right? Why do that? When I was first buying on like Coinbase and other sites and sending to my Solana wallet here, I always tested with $1 first to see how it would go. You can do less than $1 if you want. Look, Darth Wacko defending it. I'm not ashamed to be a Cowboys fan. I'm not going to bandwagon onto some other fan base just because my team has underperformed for 30 years. I just put more energy into the Dallas Stars. That's totally fair. I left as a baseball fan when I left my Astros. I like watching the occasional game, but I don't have a team now. I just was like, I'm done. I'm going to football. Yeah, don't bandwagon. I hate to see that. When you're like 12 and you're trying to figure out who you are and what your team is, cool. But don't be the Yankees or the Cowboys unless you live in those cities. I think it's crazy. A kid becomes a Yankees fan that lives in Texas. It's like, why? Just because they were good then? Anyway, sorry. Adventure time. And then you guys work with each other. You can always do some trades. If there's something you're missing in the epics or whatever, check with the community. You can always do a trade. You just can't do it on Droppp. You can send the NFT over to Wax and you can do a trade there. I recommend you always do. Don't find a rando on some board or Facebook group or something and they say, hey, you send me this epic and I'll send you my epic, and then y'all you send yours and they don't send theirs. Wait, what? Notice is what? Good old 4 fingers on one hand and 5 on the other. 1, 2, 3, 4. It does. Oh my God, that's hilarious. I'm rolling with it. I love it. I did not notice. The 4-fingered death punch. I love it. It's so funny. That is really funny. I still have no problem with it. Most people aren't going to notice. American sports fandom is wild because we have 3 to 5 different sports we go crazy for at different times of the year. Most other places are dominated by year-round soccer. It's got to be easier, right? It's got to be way easier. I've got football jerseys, baseball jerseys, now hockey jerseys. I don't think I've had a basketball jersey ever, but I do like watching the occasional basketball game. But I just really only have like, I do football and hockey now, and I'll watch baseball occasionally. Lost a finger in a firework accident. I held that for reasons. Don't make fun of poor old AI Sully. Or Al Sully. We can call him Al Sully. I sold most of my jerseys. I never wear them anymore. Yeah, I feel like there's a time for that, right? I'm definitely not one of those bandwagon Cowboy fans either. Yeah, he lives in the area. Can't stand the Yankees and Lakers. All right, at least party is good there. I just like giving Darth Wacko a hard time. Do we have any question? And the other thing that you have to make sure you do, if you have any unopened packs, make sure you check your packs and make sure if you have any Adventure Time, which if you do, lucky you, they're going for like near $100 a pack. Make sure you sell those before tomorrow at 11 a.m. Do we have any questions? I think everybody here is used to this. If you're watching and you have a question, but you're scared to ask because you're afraid to get made fun of or whatever, no. Don't do that. Ask the question. I don't care if I've answered 1,000 times. We'll make this 1,001, and you'll be helped, and you'll do better, and you'll enjoy collecting, and you'll keep collecting, and they will have sellouts eventually again. You were talented and skilled enough to not use AI for images. I couldn't do this without a long time of artwork. But really what I was going for this was I wanted a basis for something new. I think I am going to try to start drawing things like this, but I appreciate it. That's both a compliment for sure. I knew something was wrong with that image. I just couldn't put a finger on it. Punked. As a Steelers fan, I need to stop buying jerseys since we don't keep anybody. I learned to buy retired player. That's smart. That's really smart. That was one of the main reasons I stopped with baseball was they let all my favorite players on my team go, and not even necessarily traded them, like let them go. It's so frustrating as a fan. But I get why your team's trying to build and fix things and get better so they can win championships. But once you make that connection to a player and a team, and you buy the jerseys and you invest in them, and then you watch them go over to somewhere else, it can only happen so many times. It hurts too much. I only buy personalized jerseys with Wacko, number 33 for that exact. That's smart. That's smart. All right, no questions? We'll finish up this conversation on the snapshot for tomorrow. After that snapshot, we've got, don't forget to check the diamond, Freddy Dark Valentine Series 1. What a tricky one. What a story on that one. June 4th. If you're trying to complete that one, you better get on it. It's not easy to find what you need. I think it became easier than I thought it would, but it still would be very expensive to complete a royalty set on there. Toy Story after that on June 25th. So we have a little over a month on Toy Story. I'm really hoping things pick up on this. Tanner could chime in here because he has some strong opinions on it, but let's look at the Toy Story. I think Toy Story is maybe one of the most undervalued things ever on this platform. It's a Droppp exclusive, right? Got the DP logo, Droppp exclusive. A royalty set. Look at some of these epics. $14 here, $12.25 here, $11.70 here. Rex is $27.48 right now, right behind the hat, right above the hat up there. That's crazy. A lot of these other ones are right where I would have thought. Actually, I guess the royalty set's doing pretty good. But your Ultra, $20. That's actually pretty decent for that one. Legendary Buzz with Darts, $50. Pterodactyl with Jane Body, $38. Woody, $46. Babyhead, $225 for the Grail. Actually, I think most of these prices are pretty decent. But the royalty, where's the royalty? After I got done saying all that, I think maybe it is more in line with where it was before. But what I don't get, packs are still hovering around $50 for it doesn't make sense. Why are all those things worth that much, but the packs are selling for so cheap? It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Let's look at actually, let's just put gibberish in, and we'll look. Oh, I don't need to do that. We'll just go to Toy Story. It's right here. It's been so long since we stayed in this stuff regularly. I'm out of practice. So look at this. At one point, you could have completed the royalty set for $90, which I completed it somewhere in here on this low end. Now the royalty's at $125, thanks largely in part to that pterodactyl, that Rex. That's $125 will get you that Freddy Funko as Sid holding the Buzz and Woody. When this thing finally hits the streets and we get them in hand, I think it's going to go for way more than that. I think in general, most of these pops will go for more than what they are. I think it's undervalued still. Maybe not as much as I thought, but for royalty, we're talking 1,600 completed. That means that all set in, we might see 1,700 completed. That's a very limited Freddy pop compared to anything else Funko makes. I know I go down that street over and over. I beat that drum to death. The baby head pop is both horrifying and amazing. I love it. Those packs would have stayed at $45 if not for Pop and Crate. Why, do you buy a bunch and crack them? Jungle Brass and Sully, that Mimic is the second best D&D pop ever, only behind the various gelatinous cubes. I think the Mimic is very good. I didn't get lucky enough to pull one from a pack, but I'll probably buy one. I think they look really good. Randy said there's a regular Sid coming with the same body as this royalty. Could this come down because of that? I haven't seen. Let's look. I didn't know this. That does have an impact on it for sure. A specialty series. So that's it right there. Let's, on a separate screen. Yeah, if they use the exact same mold, that's a problem. What am I trying to do here? I want to look at drops. I want to look at Toy Story. I want to look at the physical collectibles. I want to look at this. Can you just go to this side where I want you? Why are you going over there? I don't want you over there. I want you on this monitor. I'm pretty sure I'm doing this right. Why are you not? Okay. All right. We'll manually. Sorry. I'll show you guys in just a second. I'm trying to bring them up side by side. Wow. That is unfortunate. Buzz is slightly different in the NFT Freddy. Well, he's got a rocket on him, right? But it doesn't show that in the... I'm shocked at that. Honestly, I bet good money that the Freddy is Sid NFT will come with the rocket. Because that would have required... Well, that would require one arm change. Maybe they thought that was enough. Same shirt, same pants. That's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. Yeah, that probably will tank the value. So I take back what I said. And personally, I have no problem with it. I would get both, and I would be very happy. If the one was a Sully pop and the other one was like Freddy is Sully and the other one was Sully with the same mold, I would happily buy both and want to see the prize go up. But I know that the mentality of collectors is same mold. It's stupid. They're lazy. That's what they say all the time. They're lazy. They don't understand. That's a business move, and it's very smart. I don't think it detracts from this Freddy with the crown and the cool specific NFT box that you had to fight to get. It's very limited. Over here, specialty series, they're probably gonna make 10,000 of those. I don't have a problem with it, but I know the community does. Therefore, the value on that Freddy as Sid is probably never gonna be as good as it could have been. To be fair, doesn't Sid only have one look? You're right, but we have to, if we're thinking about value, we got to look at supply and demand. And as soon as you use the same mold, which they didn't, but that's what the community will see. Once you use the same mold, all bets are canceled. You might as well take the Sid that's coming out at retail, make it $8. You might as well make this NFT one and make it $75. You might as well call it game over because that's the way the community sees it. Funko be Funkoing. The NFT Sid is still way back. I 1,000,000% agree. Dougie Fresh, I don't see the issue. Pretty much every Freddy as blank has pretty much the same head swap, more or less. I agree. Yeah, I'm glad it has the 30th anniversary on there too, but I mean, we could do a poll. We could put this out there and put a social post. It'd have to be shared by, like, you get different comments depending on where you shared it. If one of those horrible leak accounts that I don't talk about here, if they put the two ones up next to each other, the comments will be filled with disgust and anger and Funko should do better, lazy, blah, 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 blah. If we put it under like Poppin' Stocks, we could have a better discussion. And it would be like, well, it's a shame that they're both the same, but I still love the 30th anniversary Freddy Funko as Sid. Unfortunately, I think the Poppin' Stock and us community is much smaller. And we represent some more of the hardcore collectors that understand these things. And then the other accounts that shall not be named, they represent a larger chunk of the collectors these days. Did they first? I block all those accounts. I don't look at their posts, nor do I ever want to. They have been. If Funko ever really does kick it and is gone, or has to close down major parts of their operations, you can look right to those accounts as one of the main reasons. They are horrible for the collectibles and for Funko and the fans and everything. Horrible. Red Ranger said it well. To the community, 85% of the same is 100% the same. Yep, exactly. Put it under an account that thrives on negativity. Negativity will ensue. But what's very interesting about that here, the Revenge, is I'm leaning more towards this, and it's working. When it comes to the NFTs, once the information is shared, if you look at the below the drop posts on Instagram, Twitter, which doesn't have much interaction. They don't do much interaction there at all. The commentary there, and then the commentary on Discord, when the first time that the glams are shared, you can take those posts, and if you measure sentiment accurately, you can almost figure out from that number, will it be a sellout, how many packs will sell, and what the value of those pops will be. That data represents the majority of the Funko collectors. So if they all crap on it, not going to be a good drop. If they hype it up like they did Avatar, you get a Grail that's worth $400 or $500. As soon as they give it their blessing, everybody's in, then it becomes sought after. And honestly, if Funko wants to be successful, they should just play to that crowd. Just listen to what they have to say and implement, and that will go straight to your bottom line. I think it would be huge for them, but I don't know what they're doing over there. The only reason the NFTs are losing steam, specifically the Funko NFTs, the only reason they're losing steam is not because NFTs in general are dying or anything like that. It's the choice in the companies that they're doing the licenses, or getting the licenses for, the quality of the molds, and how many packs they're making. And honestly, Funko Droppp was doing a fantastic job since middle of last year with almost every drop. There's the occasional ones where they take a little risk, like Always Sunny in Philadelphia and stuff like that, where it doesn't sell out. Then we got to, what was the most recent one? We just got to our first non-sellout in a while, Dungeons and Dragons 25% burn. Also pair with that the fact that they still have this mentality they need to close down the live sales within 3 to 4 hours. Well, who puts a product on? Let's see if it comes back here. I finally came to the part, to the realization it has something to do with my graphics card and software. Hopefully I'm back. Am I back for you guys? Skippy? Yeah, I don't know what, it's something to do with the graphics card, and I updated drivers and stuff. I've got to do more of a full deep investigation, but it's just occasionally glitching, causing problems system wide. Hopefully it gets better. You guys let me know if it continues to be Skippy or if it's better. Anyway, I think Funko and Droppp have been doing a great job of listening to the fans, implementing changes, and they were having sellout after sellout for a while. But this last one didn't sell out, 25% burn, and they have been inconsistent on when they're going to do drops. They haven't provided us information to say, hey, it's going to be a few weeks because we're taking a little break, or a month while we figure it out, or whatever. The lack of communication really hurts the momentum that you have going, and right now they have zero momentum. As per always, I'm not talking smack about the work the people are doing. My guess is they're doing the best they can, but they have little to no support. They have little to no budget. They have little to no bandwidth because they have to make the bottom line. The company keeps cutting so that the stock will go up, which it's not. And eventually you can only cut so deep. And I think they're already there. Yeah, I mean, you have the economy for sure. That has a lot to do with it. I agree, Punked. But if you're making really quality drops every time, good pack counts, good quality pops, they're gonna sell out still. But the momentum is gone, and that is not because the NFT community as a whole has said we're done with NFTs. It is simply because you have to have product to buy, and there hasn't been product. Huge gaps in release dates, and again, I'm not talking smack about anybody there. They've been put in a tough situation because Funko decided to go public, and they're all paying the price for it now. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, Fourth Curator. They just keep cutting. Eventually, you can only cut so many employees, and this is just the mindset of most businesses these days. We gotta go for the bottom line. It's all about the right now, not the long term. And for the right now, we'll just cut some employees, and the ones that are there will do a little more work. We'll tell them they're lucky to have their job, and we'll promise them that there's light at the end of the tunnel, and it'll get better if they'll just deal with the pain now. And then it's all lies. Even if they think they're going to get through it, even if they're being truthful when they say that to employees, it's a lie. I've seen it happen too many times. Priscilla said it's looking a bit scary for Funko in general. Not just NFTs, but the health of the company overall, and NFTs would probably be the first thing to go. I agree. I tried to use AI, ChatGPT, because, Funko's a public company. So they have to put their financials on, it has to be public. Unfortunately, the financials aren't broken down enough. I was trying to use ChatGPT to see if we could figure out what were the financials of the Droppp stuff specifically compared to Funko. It all comes down to if Droppp is truly its own company within the company, and they're selling $250,000 in NFTs in a month, but their overhead is only $75,000. Oh, that's a win. You keep that, right? You want the numbers to be much higher than that, but that's a win. Versus you look at other divisions of the company and you go, okay, well, the soda sales were not good. We kicked that. What else do we have? Loungefly. How's Loungefly doing? Maybe that's not doing great. We kicked that. Maybe Mondo's not doing great. We kicked that. You look at the individual financials, at least in theory. I've worked for companies where, like I worked for a printing company that was very successful. We got bought by another company that had deep pockets, but their stores weren't doing great. Their company brought our company down. Once they bought us, they used the same employees and the same bad mindset, and it killed the whole company. I could see Funko very easily looking at the financials and going, yeah, the NFT sales are pretty good, but we'd rather keep Loungefly because we feel like it's better. So kill the Droppp, keep the Loungefly. Based on what? Like, where's your mathematics on that? Consumer spending is a little tighter since most things have gone up in price in the past few minutes. No, 100%. When we say economy, that's what we're talking about. 1,000,000% that is. I agree. But again, I say there is always something to sell. There's always something people would buy. And if you make a quality product, not too many, keep your supply and demand in check, educate your customers on how to even access it and buy it, been saying that since day one, the sales will be there. There are people that have money that will spend it. Yep, they lost almost all of their talent, and now that same talent has become their competitors. Yep. Jungle Bride drives me nuts. Cutting employees doesn't even have a massive impact on their bottom line. Nope, just an immediate one. Just enough for the next call, financial call, to talk about where the company's at, to see the stock change, and then you got to do it again 3 months later. Yep, not surprised, Fourth Curator. Yeah, I pray for them. I hope they find good employment somewhere. One of the big problems I'm seeing, though, is everyone's having problems. So even though you have talented people, you don't have the jobs that are willing to pay for the talented people out there. Pop and Stock says, with arcade and mini contests, the Funko digital cards have never been stronger on the secondary market. Absolutely true. All older sets are active now, and we see more and more high sales for expired cards. Perfect segue. Thank you, Pop and Stock. I have that on my notes right here because I did want to talk about this. Shared by you, right, Pop and Stock? Or was that just retweeted by you? I think it might have been retweeted by you. Yeah, it was Funko NFT Enthusiast. Good account. Original Funko Bob Ross Max Token Head Gold 1 of 1 just sold for $550 and was relisted for $8,800. Now, there's a number of ways to look at this, but one is, I've always said, the 1 of 1s are going to be the most valuable in the long run because of the scarcity, what they are, true 1 of 1s. I don't support the Bob Ross license because of, watch the Bob Ross documentary and you'll know why. But just in general, I've said this for a long time, these 1 of 1s are going to be the most valuable ones in the long run. And if I had the money, I'd have been buying them up over the last few years when they came up at $150, $200, $250, because I think that even if all of the NFTs, all the Funko stuff were to trail off, this is always going to live on the blockchain. And for the license, depending on the license, will always be highly sought after. These could see Ethereum type numbers because they are 1 of 1s. The other flip side of this is it could be market manipulation by a handful of people. I don't know what account bought it. I don't know what account sold it. I don't know anything about these people, so I'm just speculating based on that and the fact that the what was it? The one that just sold meant $420 for a lot of money the other day. That could all be market manipulation. Hear the revenge. Look at the recent limited edition Pops Funko released. The 1,200 piece legendary is reselling. Now, is it really reselling or is it being listed at? Hear the revenge. Give me. What is an example? What is that pop? Because I've been meaning to look this up too. What exactly is the pop in question here? And let's look, because I've heard this. I've seen some people talking about it, but are there closed listings that say that these things actually sold for what people are asking? Right, Robert GP? It's horrible right now. Kaleidos has been doing great. Great stuff. No, Jungle Bride, they don't break it down enough to be able to look at those individual divisions within the company. Maybe Jungle Bride. I can see arguments as to why Loungefly would outlast, but the Funko Pop is such an iconic item and its own company, essentially. I mean, people call them Funkos. They're talking about Pops. So stupid. But anyway, I think long-term what'll happen is some companies, like, we could see Funko file a Chapter 11, which would freak a bunch of people out, but then somebody will step in and buy them, and they will do their best to just get the money out of it. Whether or not that's actually rebuilding the company and making it close to what it once was, or just using that Pop name and running it into the ground while they make some money off of it. I still think Disney or Fanatics will buy them. What's the biggest Achilles heel for Funko is that the investors with no direction are going every direction but up. Investors with no direction are going every direction. I don't understand that, Finest Funko. I want to. But I don't understand what you mean by that. The Turtle Grail, that's what it was. The original Turtle Grail NFT, mint 420, sold for a ridiculous amount of money, $420. I really err on the side of that being market manipulation. Somebody with a big, maybe multiple wallets, they may have sold it to themselves, for all we know, is trying to raise the price. There's a chance it's not, but I really feel like that might be it. We need to see more sales in order for that to be a trend. Strawberry shortcake, that was an example. Let's look. I did hear that one. I'm just not buying into this. We're selling limited edition Pops with different stickers for different amounts thing from Funko. Unless they make a Sully, I'm really not. I don't care. Okay, let's see. This is it right here. Strawberry shortcake with custard. Number 1819. That's it, right? Because we can tell by the sticker. Notice nothing in here says it's this new sticker type. It doesn't say legendary. It doesn't say Grail. Whatever that sticker says on it, it doesn't say it. Does this one? Grail. Okay, that one has it. So let's go Grail. Okay, asking $249, $250, $170. That's at auction. It does have some bids, so it's doing well. $215. Ugh. Just ugh. $121 at auction too. Okay, let's say I actually sold. $225 on yesterday. $242, $220. $200, $240, $230, $230. Okay, there's actual sales. Some of the earlier ones, $275, $299, $250. So it's already trending downward for the most part. But there are sales. So there is something to this more limited edition thing that Funko's doing. I don't think it holds long term. I think this is just a new and a bit of FOMO applied to it. But I don't think long term it holds. I don't think we'll see the same thing 6 months or a year from now. So many iconic items have disappeared historically, especially collectibles. Yeah, a lot of that has to do with, like, and people always make the Beanie Baby comparison, and I'll defend this till I die. Beanie Baby was popular for a while, and they had a chance, but they never did licensed stuff. So it was only going to be for the people that got into it, and maybe their kids might be into it. Funko has always had the licensed stuff, and therefore non-collectors would come into it via those licenses. They would, oh, I'm the biggest Goonies fan in the world. Those Funko Pop things are stupid. Wait a minute, there's a sloth? I need to have that. There's a data? I need all those. Those are so cool. They get those in their collection, and then eventually they're like, oh, I do like those, and there's other things from the 80s I like. Let me get those. I don't think Beanie Babies was ever going to do that. They finally got licensing, but it was too little too late. Now, having said that, I think Ty is a very big company still. I think they're doing okay. But I think they ran that problem was the licensing. I remember when Kenner was on top of the world, then it fell and Hasbro bought them. Yeah. If Fanatics buys them, you can kiss good shipping goodbye. I don't think so. No, I think that's a simple thing to throw some fuel on the fire. If Fanatics buys them, they will definitely do make some changes to the company. But the manufacturing and distribution, what are they doing with their Pops right now? I don't know anything about how they ship their Pops. Maybe they already understand the value of keeping the cardboard boxes in good condition, and they would continue to apply that. I know a lot of people make the jokes about the transparent jersey bottoms, the pants, that kind of stuff. If they're going to invest in a company, they could make it better. But we don't know. Lana viewed the financials a couple of months ago, and she's seen manipulation of numbers, inflated numbers. We're talking about Funko, Finest Funko. Very possible. Very possible. Sully, highest NFT, gold, silver, etc. that sold. Monster Pete, it is possible to get that information, but kind of tricky. Our best bet would be, let me use ChatGPT to see. So ChatGPT does have, and I can't bring this up here because I'm having the hardest time getting logged in up here. I'm going to have to put it up on my laptop. If anybody uses ChatGPT, I've noticed that there is an API plugin or tie-in. Yo, what's up? WWE is here. I can't see the rest of the name very well. Thank you for the follow. Why isn't that showing up on the screen there? It's showing up here, but it didn't update over here. Well, I'll call you WWE. It's WWE. Eulogy Kia. I can't read the whole thing. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna call you WWE. Welcome. Thank you for the follow. That's a great question, Monster Pete. What's the biggest sales? If I use ChatGPT, we can actually say, can you view sales of NFTs on the Wax blockchain? And I think that'll bring up there's like a tie-in, an API that will see specifically Wax. Let's see what it's called. Several analytics platforms, Atomica, Crypto Slam. So that's not helping. That's not what I'm looking for. Can you tell me the highest sales of the Funko NFT one of ones to date? Specifically, on the Wax blockchain. I have gotten some data from this before, and then other days not so much. So let's try. Specifically, can you tell me which gold one of one has sold for the most? Wax/USD, which silver one of one, and which is it bronze or copper? Bronze one of one. Let's see if we get anything out of this. Because we could look at 101 specifically, we can filter out, we can look through, but it's kind of tricky because of the way Funko structures having each license in its own collection. It makes it trickier. I wonder if Hasbro would buy them to boost their stock. Hasbro has potential. I don't know much about their pockets and like what are they really worth and how liquid are they? How much money do they have? I keep saying Disney or Fanatics just from a gut feeling, but Hasbro's definitely one of those companies where if their financials are in good order, they could do something. Let's see. Finance says, yeah, Valor and Vel. Wait, what did Priscilla say back? I was asking why was there such a dip from 20 to 21 and 2023 to 2025. I mean, there's so many factors, but one of the big ones is 2020 to 2021. That was COVID, right? So COVID had an impact for sure, and there was the lack of strength in the company. Like people didn't know if it was going to make it out of COVID and be all right. In fact, they made a lot of money during COVID. And then 2023 to 2025, you get into inflation, you get into supply chain, more of an issue. You get into them doing their layoffs, Brian exiting the company, et cetera, et cetera. There's a lot of factors at play. If Disney bought them, what would that mean for other licenses? I mean, it depends on how they keep it structured. Do they bring it under the Disney umbrella and just use it to make their own licenses, which is still huge? Marvel, Star Wars, Funko, Disney, Pixar, they would own all that. That's still is like 50% of their company, right? What would that mean for the Harry Potter, DC, all that stuff? Don't know. Depends on how they structure it. If they leave it its own individual company where they just own it, they could still make everything. Nadu, or Jungle Bryce says to Nadu, I think Hasbro should be the Vegas favorite to buy Funko. I would put Sully's idea of Fanatics at number 2, Disney at number 3. So I don't know enough about Hasbro. Like, does anyone know, are they a extremely profitable company? Are they really making good money? If they are, then for sure. Yeah, Beanie Babies are a horrible comparison. I agree. Each investor is going different directions, but up. Yeah, I'm sorry, Finest. I still don't understand. By investors, do you mean not people that hold stock, but the private investors? And by that, what does that mean? They're going different directions. I'm sorry. I don't mean to make it difficult. I'm not trying to be difficult. I want to understand. Darth Whack, I only bought a Funko Pop because I randomly ran across the Kratos from God of War in 2015 and thought it was cool. Completely changed my opinion on Pop. Precisely my opinion. My point from earlier. Look at Labubu. They have already started doing collabs with other licenses to get people to pick up their collectible. See? Yep. Licenses are the lifeblood of collectibles. Even if they do Star Wars, Labubu's still going to pass on them personally. Resell, sure, 100% if I can't touch. How much would Funko sell for? Is there a way to... No, it's such a tricky financial because Funko isn't 100% public. Funko has, and I still don't know where this lays these days. At one point, after they had gone public, I believe Brian Mariotti was still the largest, held the largest chunk of the company privately. So they had him hold a chunk. They had investors. They had sold 20 or 30 or 40% to an investment group prior to them going public. They sold 20 or 30% to the public part. So even if the stock delisted, Funko doesn't go bankrupt. Not necessarily. They still have all the private investors. And I don't know what Brian's chunk did. Did he sell it? What did he do? I don't know. Hasbro's only afloat now because of Wizards of the Coast. Somebody said they did $5 billion in 2023. But yeah, but that's sales. What is that profitable? Yo, what's up, Hoverlon7? Let's see. Did I get any answers from here? No. And it's not bringing up that cool... there was a... Here, let me try it this way. Is there a Wax blockchain API you can use to access data like sales on the Wax blockchain? I can't remember how I got this to come up before. Yes, there are several APIs. Aha, there we go. So now I can say, use the Atomic Market API to access Wax sales. And let me see if I can find that previous prompt that I put up so I can copy and paste. I've had hit or miss luck with this for sure. Does Hasbro still have the movie production company too? That's money. I don't think they do anymore. Yo, what's up, Wellston? Oh, what? Mellow25 is paying forward the gift of that sub they got from Finest Funko and giving 5 community subs out. Thank you so much, Mellow. Those going to Nashville Lou, streamer, Wax, Twitchy Tides, great individual. RC Pad G, Big Dan TV, Conigian, and Prepared Medusa. Thank you so much for that generosity. I really appreciate it. And Mello, I don't know if you saw, but they're doing a thing where if you purchase 2 gifted subs, you get a free, I think it was a sub to Crunchyroll. So be sure you check your email or whatever that you might have to look for if you're interested in getting that. But that was a promotion they're doing right now. Yeah, it's not giving me the answers on this, but we could do some research and find out what the #1 selling gold, silver, and bronze was. All that data is on the blockchain. It's just ChatGPT is not cooperating with me right now. Hasbro 25 first quarter operating profit reached 171 million. Now we're talking. This is helpful info. 19% margin. Adjusted operating profit was 222 million, up 74 million with a 25% margin. So they're profitable and they're doing well. If I had to guess, I'd say Funko is a $500 to $750 million company, based on what I had heard before leaving Funko and how things have gone for them. Recent years have not been good. It'd be a lot closer to the 500 million. For somebody like Hasbro, if they've got the pockets and they see a potential with Funko, which they very well could, they've been watching for years, they could make that deal. What I'm sure Funko is trying to do is not look vulnerable, so that if they did go up for sale, they would get the best dollar. But if they end up in real trouble and have to file Chapter 11, Hasbro or one of those other companies I mentioned could swoop in and get them a lot cheaper. Would it be insane? Absolutely maybe. Absolutely maybe. Anytime is Hasbro public? Hasbro must be public for those numbers to be published. Hasbro stock. Yep. Their stock is currently at $68. This is a really good sign about the health of the company as well. Let's look at over the last 5 years. So their stock was over $100 in 2020. Let's look. Can we look at longer than 5 years? What's the max? If we go back to pre-COVID, 2017, 2018, they had a real dip right there, but that was COVID related in February of 2020. But prior to that, they were $114 stock. Now they're down to 68. So they're not nearly as strong as they were at one time. I don't know if there's any splits or anything that we would be concerned about, but that compared to what, $4? Yuck. Yeah, Hasbro could swallow them up, 100%. Funko stocks surged 19% last week. What is this? A $45 million reason. What was the $45 million? The temporary trade truce is a rare win. Yeah, I need to read the whole story. I'm not going to do it here on stream. That's very interesting. Yeah, Hasbro could buy them. If Funko was to tank, I wonder if Brian and Mike to buy back Funko and bring it back to its glory. You know, it's possible. It is possible. I don't know how deep their pockets are, but I don't think they're deep enough for that. Chalk and cheese. What is that, Welsh? If someone like Hasbro bought Funko, I wonder if they would let Funko keep all the SDCC space or if they would take some of it for the main company. It all depends, man. Hasbro, like, you've seen acquisitions before. It always happens with banks a lot, right? Like, a bank buys another chain of banks and they immediately change all the banks to their main name. Makes sense, right? They want to strengthen their core brand. But somewhere like Hasbro could keep Hasbro and Funko as two operational units that are completely different. They could keep the Funko name, keep the Funko booth, the sales, a lot of the people, and just pump it to get it back to where it was. And then the overlapping positions like accounting, CEOs, stuff like that, of course you would have all under the Hasbro name. You wouldn't see that at the Funko level. That would be a good way to do it if you were scared about running people off by changing like the box to not say Funko Pop anymore, but to say Hasbro Pop. Like, I don't think they would do that. They would have to think about the strength of their own name. Do they think Hasbro is a household name enough and is stronger than Funko? Yes, for their stuff that they currently have. But if they were to own Funko, I don't think it would be a good call to call it Hasbro then when people already call the product Funkos. I don't think it makes sense. But you get these guys in a room, these people in a room that make these decisions, and logic often doesn't have a place. So, gonna have to buy them Hasbros. Yeah, Funko is the strong name rather than Pop. It is, which is funny because forever there was just people knew them as Pops, and the Funko name wasn't even on the front of the box. This is a prime example. This was even after. No, this was pre-box design change. This is a 2020. The name Funko does not appear anywhere on this box printed. It does on the sticker, but Funko doesn't appear. It was while we were there. I'll put it on the screen. While we were there, and we helped redesign the bottom of the box. Brian had a big part to do with that. And then finally, I think it was like Gremlins got some new pops, and that was one of the very first ones to have Funko in the name. So now when you get the newer stuff, like they have it on the NFT pops. Funko appears up in the corner in the blue and on the top of the box in the blue, whereas it did not appear on the front before. And it's still the tinier name. So it's crazy to me that people call them Funkos now. I don't get it. I mean, it's so stupid. I don't understand why anybody calls them Funkos. They're Pops. Maybe just because, I'm also buying and selling sodas and I don't want to say sodas and Pops. Or I don't want to say Funko products, which is the only thing that makes sense. But whatever. If people can call them whatever they want. It's a fight I shouldn't even be trying to fight. It is very interesting with the branding. It's when I worked there, it was something we talked about a lot. Like Funko was not a household name. The discussion would always be, hey, do you collect Pops? No, what are Pops? They're these little things in boxes like this with the window in the front. They got the black eyes. Oh yeah, I know those. Yeah. Even dolls. Well, they usually say Funko dolls or Funkos, or but they don't usually just say, do you collect dolls? It doesn't usually go like that. I don't think they could afford Funko. Looks like they only had about $695 million in capital at the end of 2024. Fanatics had around $1 billion. Disney obviously much more, $6 billion. So that's why I usually leaned on them more and didn't really consider Hasbro. But then there's really creative ways companies can acquire another company through stock trades and things like that. And a lot of it also has to do with, like, is Hasbro just solid and profitable? If they are, they go to a bank, they acquire it, they get the money, they buy it. You know, I could see them doing that and like making it not public anymore at all, stock buyback of all of it, just to keep it under the Hasbro umbrella and not get messy with all the stock. I have a Nintendo, several of them actually. I know, yeah, just like calling a Nintendo Switch a Nintendo. Like what? I was watching Top Pops on Whatnot the other day. I actually ended up modding for him for a while. And somebody went in there in the comments and said, how many Funkos do you blah, 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 blah. And he immediately went, well, I have this many Funko Pops. And I was like, God bless you. I do the same thing. I always correct it as soon as somebody says it. And he said, yeah, I do it all the time because it makes sense. He's basically poking fun at his own fan base, which I think we all should when people call them Funkos. People call the NES Nintendo back in the day, though. It's on them, have expected on the product line since. I did say as a kid I want a Nintendo. I didn't call it an NES, but that was as a kid. Once I got to understanding that Nintendo made Super Nintendo and the future lines, then I stopped calling it a Nintendo. Chuck said I would trust Fanatics more than Disney or Hasbro. I think Fanatics has the most to offer because of not only could they keep the DC, the Disney, all that stuff, but now they could go stronger on the sports side of things, which the sports pops are doing better and better. When they first came out, they weren't doing great. Now they are starting to do really well, especially when you talk about the grading of pops, that overlap. Grading pops has gotten really big, a lot, largely in part because of the sports card collectors. They also understand collectibles more. Yes. Hey, thank you, Randy C. I think these conversations are fun, and I really want to look back one day and go, yeah, we had this conversation. Here's why it makes sense. What would be even better is if someone who was at Fanatics or Disney saw this and was like, oh, you know what? That makes a lot of sense. This guy's got it. When we do that, let's bring him in. The odds of it are 1 in a gazillion, but I'll take it. It's better than 0. Because I really think there are some really key factors, some key things that with the right money, Funko can correct to bring things back in line to closer to where they once were. If I inherited $1 billion, I would look into it. It would have to be that. It would have to be a huge amount of money. If a large investor happened to catch my stream and saw, hey, I think there's an opportunity for this, I would say, let's have a chat about what the future of this is. And here's the 8 or 9 things I would do to get it back online and profitable. Do I know enough? Probably not. It's probably just me being an idiot thinking I know too much. They'd bring me in and go, but all these reasons why we can't do that. Like, you're a dumbass. You don't understand. Fine. If let's have the conversation at least. We could go from food talk to an in-depth collectible talk on a dime, right? Jungle Bra, I get why people say Funkos. Funko hasn't made enough different products for the general public to need to distinguish. Pop is the only successful figure they have ever made. Yeah, and they were doing so good with soda, but then they made the wrong changes and tanked that. Sully's first act, he hires all of us. I put all my trust in my financial advisor. Finest Funko, I mean, you got one on standby at all times, and you have a really good relationship with them, so it makes sense. Yo, Bubba James! It comes up in almost every stream now. Like, I honestly think that Funko is headed that way no matter what. Their financials, they're hurting. The stock is down. They continue round after round of layoffs. Recently, the Droppp stuff has been very, up and down, like we don't know if we're getting a drop or not. And again, millionth time, I'll say this every time, I'm not picking on Funko, I'm not picking on Droppp. All the people that are working there, I feel for you, I pray for you. You're doing great. You're doing great work. And I love what you're making. And I want to buy it. But I'm sorry, you work for a company that's gone public and they've just tightened the reins. You got no budget, you got no time, you're overworked. I feel it. I know this to be true. I want you to be successful. I want another company to come in and give you all the budget you could ever need to do all the things you've been dreaming of and to make the company what you believe it could be. I collect Funkos from the company Pop. This is Pop and Stock. I'm not allowing the word Funkos. Do not allow it. I miss Dorbs. I kind of do too, Robert GP. I love the Dorbs. Bro, I'd go to work for Sully and Hart. Well, thank you, Darthwack. I appreciate that. Cal Laird, you will be the chief birthday liaison. Can you just get me permanent Fun Days tickets when you're CEO, or at least the opportunity to buy them? Permanent Fun Days tickets. Ooh, that seems like a slippery slope. Because guess what you would get this year? You would get one ticket into Fun Days at HQ, and you'd be one of like 5,000 people. Not quite as valuable an item now. I'd work for Sully if he hated Discord less, says Dan Asker. Look, Dan Asker, if I inherited a ton of money or a company back to me, I would tell the company we have to use Discord for outward-facing stuff with our customers, communication. But the number one mandate is it doesn't just go in Discord. It's got to be shared. If it's information that needs to be published to everyone, it also needs to go on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram and TikTok and Snapchat and all those other places. Mello, I have 5. I'm not doing it. All of which Tanner bought me. Mello, we game together. I know who you are. I'm not calling them Funkos. I'm reading your word, but I'm not doing it. Finest, you got it, baby. You got it. We were friends forever. Jungle Bro, I'd work with Sully for Sully, even if he hated Discord more. Nah, Discord has its place. I think about it a lot in my head. Like, I'm like, what? You're harsh on it. I have my reasons I'm harsh on it, and I think they're fair reasons. There's a lot of things Discord does well. Chatting in-game with my friends is amazing. The idea of a place where people can come in and interact and have a group, I love. It's just the way people use it is wrong, in my opinion. I thought so, Mel. Thank you for coming by the stream again. Priscilla, I love Discord, but I wonder if that's why NFTs kind of hit the ceiling. I had this thought the other day. Keeping everything in Discord means close to zero onboarding. I've said it a million times. Not only Priscilla and I see eye to eye on a few things, we see eye to eye on that, but I've said specifically that is a problem for NFTs. Walking Mirror, I think I may have seen something about that too. Sully, can I keep my mod job at the board of directors meetings? Yes, Misty, we'll bring you in. Discord is a great app with a terrible notification system. That's for sure. I saw something pop up in the corner yesterday. I guess in one of the groups, somebody that's in our community posted something about, like, I'm so sorry for your loss. I have no idea what it referred to. I tried to click it to figure out where it was, and it was gone. And I can't find it in Discord. I don't know how to go about finding it. I'll never see it. Whoever lost anyone, dog, loved one, whole family, I'm sorry. I feel for you. I pray for you. I'm just going to say, God, watch after generic person, because Discord won't tell me who the hell it is. They can't just do social media, though, either. They need to have booths at oh, that is so important. Sully is a secret Discord investor, but downplays it because it would be a conflict of interests. Here's something for you. When I worked at Funko, did you guys know we were not allowed to talk about the stock at all, period, ever, zero. We were never allowed on the podcast or in videos to say, hey, you want to support Funko? Buy the stock. We weren't allowed to do that. It was against the law. Isn't that crazy? Discord thinks everyone uses Discord. The reality is very few people use Discord. I believe that. Disagree. It has a great customizable notification. See, I can't stand it. I'm with Jungle Brown on this one. Your cord, my cord, we all Discord. You've done more marketing for Droppp and Funko NFTs through your channels than Funko and Droppp has done. From your lips to God's ears. It's pretty perfectly named, Randy. Dan Asker, this is on you. This is on you. Okay, hey, look. We talked about a few things I wanted to talk about. We talked about the Extra Life auctions. If you're just getting here, let me show them again real quick. Our friend Priscilla, Valor and Vellum, who's here in the chat, who's one of our core team members for raising money for Extra Life every year, has offered up. She's made these figures. These are highly sought after figures of hers that normally retail at conventions when they're just the regular numbered variants. Figures sell for 70, 80 bucks, right? She's got the artist proof figures. These are the most sought after of all of them by anyone who collects, up for auction, with all the funds going to Extra Life, benefiting Children's Miracle Network hospitals. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 artist proof Sunes. Let me put the link in the chat so you can go look. They are underbidding right now. The bids are under retail on almost all of them except for this Mocha Latte Sune AP, which is a beautiful one, but they're all beautiful. Get in there, get your bids in. Don't wait till the last second because you will forget. Or at the very least, if you don't put a bid in today, get on your world's worst assistant and say, remind me on May 25th at 11 a.m. Pacific to go bid on the Sune stuff. I don't know why anyone would wait till the very end other than you're scared of it getting bid up too much. I don't want you to miss out, and I don't want the kids to miss out. So get over there, click on the link, bid on the stuff, hit the heart, sign up for notifications, do whatever it takes, whatever works for you and the way you approach auctions to get on these, because all that money is going to Extra Life, benefiting Children's Miracle Network hospitals. There's also this awesome digital pet Sune pin and the raw pin proto. That is a proto. And one of her limited edition Sune tumblers, which I'm not trying to brag. I'm not trying to be that guy. But Priscilla was kind enough to send me one of these beauties. And look at this. Not only is it a very large, it's a tall tumbler. Look at that. Compared to a Rocky Moto, compared to a Funko Soda. Very tall. It's like a metal. Very nice. Got the, of course, the sippy coffee top. It's the metal interior. Very nice tumbler. If you guys see that on there right now, $12. Are you kidding me? You could the auction minimum on this should be 30 or 40 bucks. It's LE50. If you're a true Sune fan, you need to go bid on it. Discord is as good as you put into it. I think that's a pretty good statement there, Boba James. Yeah. And I don't think that in a lot of cases the implementation by individuals, NFT projects, and companies is very good. If you're going to have a Discord, I think it has to be one of the tentacles, if you will, in a very good social marketing customer service platform. Like, you cannot have Discord as your only thing. You can't have Discord running without somebody in there. You've got to have mods. You've got to have direction. You've got to constantly be providing information there and engaging with people, or else it doesn't really serve its purpose. So both the companies that have a presence on Discord and the users need to use it properly. Red Ranger, a lot of it happened during COVID. In my opinion, that's when I became familiar more with it. I know before COVID, when I was working at Funko, I got my Discord and I flirted with the idea of using it for some things, but ultimately decided, no, I don't think so. Ghost Cat Joypad, what's happening? How are you now? Welcome. Another great streamer here on Twitch. Make sure you guys... Oh, I forgot to get back to you on the question you sent me, Ghost Cat. I'm sorry. Walking Miracle says some words and terms just trigger tangents in here. We're a consistent, inconsistent bunch. Boy, aren't we? Walking Miracle, I've hearted all those listings. Good job, you're doing right. Justin says hit those little hearts to get notifications of bids when they end. Yes, absolutely. Chewy Hawk, what's happening, baby? Dan Asker responded to Jungle Bry. I won't read that out loud, but he's right. You can customize it. I still, even though I feel like I've customized a lot of stuff, I'm still, like I said, notification pops up. I don't know how to get to it after it's gone. I saw something. I wanted to click on it. It disappeared too quick. Those tumblers will never be for sale, except in this auction. Better grab it. Each auction will come with a golden... No, that's Nadu. Disregard. That looks like a Yeti tumbler. Yeah, it is a very high quality tumbler. I'm really surprised you don't have a community Discord. I just can't stand it, man. Yeah, you can have different topics, but like, again, how many Discords are you a member of as a user? And how many do you visit on a consistent basis? And how is the information in that Discord actually delivered to you? I think all that is broken. I go on Twitter, man. All the accounts I interact with regularly, that information is coming to me in nice little chunks that I can go through during the day at my leisure. I don't have to remember to go to a certain Discord to look up something in a certain folder or whatever the hell you call those things down below. I'm not going to go seek out info. When it comes to social, I want the info delivered to me, and I don't think Discord delivers jack. Yo, Crack Knack Nork, what's happening? Discord has an inbox where it will take you to the right message if it's a chat. No, but it wasn't a chat to me. It was in some general conversation in a channel. I don't even know how to begin to find that. I just can't Discord. I think it's my age or something. Chewy Hawk, I'm with you. It's too overwhelming? I agree. I think the only way would be if you had one company that you just lived and died by, or one group, and you got in Discord and you just did that. Yeah, Ghost Cat, again, it works for some people and depending on how you use it, but you weren't here earlier. One of the big things that I think that any NFT project or content creator should look at is if you're doing everything in your Discord, that's great. I'm glad you have that place. I'm glad that tool works for you. I'm really not trying to poop on you or Discord. How are you getting out to more people? Discord is a little bubble. How do you bring in new users and new fans and new, like, how do you do that? And then if you put something into Discord, like a valuable piece of information, why are most people not putting that also on Instagram and Twitter and TikTok and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera? Now, if you want to put information that you're specifically keeping gated as like an exclusive for your community, totally get it. Totally get it. That makes sense. I would do that for people here. Like I do in my streams. I give you guys first dibs on things before I put it out anywhere else, most times, more often than not. But I think it's just something to think about. Oh, no, see, I Crack Neck Nork, I agree it can be a real problem. I agree it's not good for kids to be on it too much. It shapes their brain differently. It's not good for us as adults to be on there too much. But 1,000,000% I believe that's in the hands of the user, and you have to set the boundaries for how long you're on there, what information, what you ingest, what you read, what you watch, etc. If all you're seeing is hate and anger and politics on a platform, it's because you're engaging with hate, anger, and politics. If you don't want to see that stuff, it's pretty easy to hit the buttons and block. It's pretty easy to set filters against certain words. It's pretty easy to not engage, but to also engage in the things you do want to see. Heart those movie trailers. Engage with a post from me about when I'm going live. And before long, you'll notice that that's the stuff you see more. Yeah, I applaud my wife as doing a wonderful job with her daughter, my stepdaughter, in that she only allows her a certain amount of time per day on the platforms. She will not let her have Instagram or Twitter or anything where she's going to be publishing information. She texts with her friends, and even that is limited because she knows the problems that it can cause. And even, we have discussions about this internally. I think we've talked about it with Brian before. He may have a differing opinion. Other parents have a differing opinion. But for each parent, it's up to them and their kid on what they think makes the most sense. Let's see. Sorry, Ghost Cat, I didn't mean to ignore you. Oh yeah, for exposure, info, and updates, I use Twitter, Discord, and YouTube. There you go. Just don't silo it, I think, is my big complaint about Discord. I agree, Allie. Not enough parents are doing it. So true. My Instagram feed is filled with nothing but toy photography and cat pictures, and I love it. See, you've curated it. You've curated it. To use the following feed and start engaging with the content you like, your algorithm for you will evolve over time. Yeah, 100%. I keep seeing video of the Lions' comeback victory over the Texans. Chuck, I hate you. I almost don't use it anymore. I prefer Discord, says Pop and Stock. Nadu, I think you want to engage with your fan base. Send emails to them with news and updates. It's a method. All right, let's get out of this. I did not come in here to tell anybody how to live their life or to just bash on Discord. It's just a perk. We got other things we need to talk about. I brought up the auctions. We just showed those. Make sure you get in on them. Let's do Skunky Chunks. I don't know how many people are collecting Skunky Chunks anymore, or for whatever reasons you may have why you're in on it or why you're not on it. I personally love the Skunky Chunks art. It's one of the first projects I ever found just naturally while I was going through looking at different sales and stuff. I loved his art. If you haven't seen Skunky Chunks before, we've done a little bit with him over the years for Extra Life and some other projects. He actually at one point made a Hoot NFT that you can purchase. Matter of fact, we look. I haven't looked at this in a while. There's still packs you can grab of these. Look at, there's all these different Hoots that he did, which is freaking amazing. Twitchberry Hoot, the Bushy Kush Hoot, Pink Pale Hoot, Blue Cheese Hoot, which is one of my favorites, Cotton Candy Hoot, Bougie Berry Hoot, Molly Mayhem Hoot, and there are packs that you can get some of these from. They're still out on the market if you're interested. Matter of fact, I don't know what is in the name of that for the Hoot pack, but let's look and see. Do I have any more left? I think I might. And at one point, poor Brian, our friend, my brother-in-law, his account got jacked and somebody stole all his stuff, and Skunky Chunks was kind enough to work with us to do a couple of art projects to help get him some money back in his account and recapture some of his wax because we couldn't get it back from the person that stole it from him. But anyway, I'm trying to look through here and see, and just point out that he's been doing work on the blockchain for a long time. I really look up to him and his art and what he's done. He had a real strong community. Things have kind of gone down, but I think that's just in general because of wax. But he has a drop going on right now, and I wanted to show you guys. Something else he did, which I thought was smart, was he enabled referral links. I'm not going to use that. If I wanted to, I could send you guys a link that I could make some money off of. If you want to do that in your streams or within your communities, you can. I'm not going to do it because I just want the money to go to him for any of these sales. I'm typing in the wrong thing. I just typed in Twitchy Tights. Skunky Chunks. I'll drop you guys a link to this because I know a lot of people don't like to go and do all the searching and the hunting and all that stuff. But he's got these 2-pack drops, the formidable packs. You can use your Skunky if you've acquired Skunky. 190,000 Skunky, you'll get you the equivalent of a $6 pack. I gotta look and see how much I have. Do I even have enough to purchase? Does it tell me? I have to look up here. How much Skunky do I have? I don't think I have enough. But I've been accumulating Skunky for a while via the Wax Style Farms. Can we bring up the list, please? Nephew Blocks, what are you doing to me? Maybe we won't look at this. Okay, there we go. I have, spell Skunky correctly and you might find it. So I have only 39,000 Skunky, so I don't have enough. But just for reference, 39,000 Skunky is worth like $1.26. If you have some, you could fill in the difference and buy the rest to get a free pack. But these 2 packs are up for sale now, and I want to open some and see if I can pull some great stuff out of this. I can show you that too, Darth Wacko. That's a wonderful question. If anybody else has your own areas you want to share this though, and maybe make a couple bucks, help our friend Skunky sell some packs, you can click on this and you can go to the 3 dots and you can say copy referral link, and you can share that, and then you'll get a kickback. I don't know what, I think it's 10% off any sales. So if he sells a $5 pack, you'll make what, 50 cents? A little something, right? You could use that to buy other things on the blockchain, but that'll help promote his stuff if you want to. I already bought some packs earlier today. I'm going to go to the packs. I don't even know what numbers I got. As you can tell, I love his stuff. These are all packs I'm holding on to. I'm going to try to keep one unopened pack of everything he ever creates because I think his stuff will have another heyday as long as Wax hangs around for us. And I want to have one of the best collections of his stuff. What pack numbers did I get? Okay, no pack 5. Let's open the high numbers. Yo, Going Tonto, what's happening? Yeah, Asteroid Eater, I can show that. I think the real question is like where exactly, like people like to have the links, because I think a lot of people have a hard time navigating the Wax Style Farm. Plus Darth Wacko is still kind of getting into all this. This is a fairly new concept to him. I'm not trying to downplay his knowledge or say he's stupid or anything. I'm just saying it's easier when somebody walks you through it for sure. All right, I'm opening the first pack. This has got 2 NFTs in it. First up, I got a common catnip bushy, mint number 16. I love the little body on this. All this stuff is art, is based in weed. Not something I partake in on the reg, but I love the art. Regardless of the subject matter, I love the art. And then I got, as my second one, a rare Puff Rider, mint number 37. Love it. All right, let's see what else. I'm gonna open a second pack. I think I'm gonna keep the third one sealed. Let's open pack 273. And then I'll show you guys the Wax Dow Farms. All right, I got a common catnip bushy. Common catnip bushy. There's going to be a lot of commons. It is the common. The rarity states that you're going to get more of those than other stuff. A lot of times he will enable blends that will use those. So you go in the same place in NFT blocks. Did I ever share the link? I did. Okay. You go to blends, and it may not be live today. It may be live in a couple of days, but you'll be able to come in and take some of those commons sometimes and blend them into something else. So don't look at commons as garbage or trash like a lot of people do. It might have a future value that you could use for something else. For Wax Dow Farms, it's a whole separate website. I used to have a link to it. There it is. So Wax Dow Farm, basically, in short, I have not logged in a while, clearly, is you take your NFTs and you can stake them to earn. That used to mean that the NFTs would come out of your wallet and would go somewhere to be held temporarily while you earned either a token or wax or something from someone else. Now, they don't all mean that anymore. In many cases, it's called a non-custodial staking, so that the NFT stays in your possession, but you benefit from having it staked. Yeah, I loved seeing his art. Puzzled Puzzler, I 1,000,000% agree with you. So you go to Wax Dow, and here's the link to the general site. By the way, I was flirting with this idea of having one once upon a time, but the amount of work to support the Wax Dow farm, I ultimately decided was too much. Right? Planted instead of staked, that kind of makes sense. Once you go in here, I think you can click on earn. I have bookmarks, so I go straight to the stuff, but want to see if we go and search for it, if we can find it here. You can search the farms. We could look for Skunky. Why are my images not loading? Is this from my crash from earlier? Farm name, how about creator? Skunky. This is where it gets challenging. When you're trying to find the Wax Dow farms for certain projects, the creator may not be what you think it is. So like in the case of Skunky Chunks, is Skunky the creator or is Toon Boy Tofu the creator? Like, how would you instinctively know that? It becomes a challenge, right? So I like to look for, you could use Discord, you could use Twitter, Instagram, wherever these people share, and sure enough, here are the areas where I could stake Skunky. Now, looking at this, also challenging. You have a bunch of different ones, a bunch of different farms that you can stake in. Rare Tier 2, NTT Collects, Reward.skunk, Ultra Rare, Exclusives, One of One, Super. How do you know where to look, right? Very challenging. There's a little trick for this as well that I'll share with you if I still have the link for it. May have to hunt for that. But basically, each of these has different NFTs that can be staked in there. You do have to look at these expiration dates and make sure that it hadn't expired. Looks like all these are still active. So you would click on one. It'll tell you if the farm is open. It is. Hourly, it's giving away 693 Skunky. You won't get all that. It'll depend on how many NFTs you have. And then you can look and say, you can go to stake. You can see which NFTs you have that would be eligible. You would see images. Something's tripping out because of my graphics card right now. I'm not quite sure what's going on. You can see which ones you have, and you could stake them for earnings. Now, I don't know if it says in here if it's a non-custodial or not. Does anyone know for sure? Did Skunky do away with any that would pull the NFT out of your wallet? Aren't all these non-custodial now? I think they are. But essentially, there's all the template numbers that you could stake. But by clicking on the stake button down there, I can look at all the ones I have, and I can stake the ones that are eligible. another one of the challenges is I don't know which of these I've already staked and which ones need to be staked. If I go to unstake, I'll see all the ones I have staked. I think I literally have all these that could be staked that are not. So I could say select all, and then stake 43 NFTs appears down in the corner. I click that. You go through. I think what he did was he closed a bunch of his wax style farms and started new ones, and I haven't got into the new ones yet. So I've been missing out on earnings that I could have got. All right, it says now your NFTs have been staked. I close the window. I go back to claim. I can't claim anything now, but I can check in 24 hours, 48 hours, a week, or whatever. And anything that I had staked, here's the earnings up here. It doesn't look like a lot, but that's hourly, 0.075 skunky, and I have a lot of NFTs. So if I get all my NFTs staked again, those earnings will start to stack up. And the place that what I bookmarked first up was this area right here that I'll share with you guys. This link. Why I like this is there's one button you can click to get all of your stake rewards, your staking rewards. Under Tools, Claim Rewards. And every single NFT that I have staked, all the farms, show up in here. And I can see what my earnings are, and I can click one button to claim everything. This to me made everything much easier. So once you start staking, it's nice to come in and have one spot where you can push one button and get all your rewards. For instance, let's see, do I have anything that's earning skunky in here right now? Yeah, look, exclusives. I have 245 skunky. I think it's been a few weeks since I was in here last. There's another 941 skunky. There's 1,658 skunky. 245 skunky. Why? Because each one of these is a different farm that I could stake in. And why do they do it that way? Each farm pays differently, has different NFTs. That it can be a little confusing, but the more you learn about it, the more you go through the farms and understand which NFTs work in there and how you earn from them, the more you engage with creators and they tell you about it, the more it'll make sense. You didn't know you could click one button, Asteroid Eater? Yeah. So right up here at the top, claim all. See that? So Boba James, there is a tool that helps with that too, and I think Walking Miracle mentioned it. Let me just say, there's a tool I had once upon a time that you could help you find farms for NFTs that you own. Yes, let me see if I have that shortcut. But I'm going to say claim all, and everything that I've earned over the last few weeks will now go into my wallet. How do I know? If I go over to Nifty Blocks, you guys saw, I forget what the number was, but under my tokens, when I looked at Skunky, I had like, what, 30-something thousand or 60-something thousand? That number should be much larger now because all those earnings I had of that token have now been brought in. Skunky, so I had 39,000, now I have 43,000. So the price has gone up, the value's gone up a little bit. But I hadn't even staked all my NFTs, so I was missing out on a lot of earnings. That claim all is only good for some farms. The newer ones you have to claim one by one. Oh, good to know. I did not know that. Thank you, Poppinstock. Do I have that link that looks for all? Dang it. When I moved to the new computer, I didn't transfer all my bookmarks. And let's see if I have it over here. We just knew that. Does anybody remember the name of that? That wax tracker? Bookmarks. It's not on here either. Yeah, I think it was RAR that made it. Oh, there we go. Poppinstock has the shortcut, has the link. Let me copy that. Thank you, Poppinstock. You're a lifesaver. Put it in here. You guys, I would recommend that you bookmark that. Uh-oh. I don't remember getting this before. Is this something that everyone else sees? Nadu, you know, you could mention that to the creator, Mike, I think was his name. Does anybody know if it's safe? I think it might work. I think you would just have to get past this security level. And I don't really, in case RAR got hacked, I don't really want to take any kind of chances on it. Yeah, you're running into the same problems, Bubba James? Yeah, I don't want to take any chances. We might want to check with the folks that created or anybody else who's used it recently and make sure it's not going to be a problem. So yeah, that's one of the problems with the Wax Style Farms is every little project would do their own farm. Hey, what's up, Falconer? And would say, hey, community, you can now stake my NFTs to earn. In other words, we want you to hold the NFTs and continue to collect so you can always increase your earnings. It's a good utility. It's a good way to pay back your fans. But then the tool's built, individuals point to it, all of a sudden you're collecting 50 different projects that all have 50 different ways of going about it. 50 different links are constantly expiring some and adding new ones and upgrading and updating and doing all the stuff to it, and it gets really, really confusing. So you're going to have to go and do some learnings on Wax Style Farms if you want to try to earn from the projects that have them on there. You know who's doing it right, though, is our friend Faded Monsuda. Have you seen his site? Look at this. So clean and easy. If you're holding his NFTs, this will load in a minute, hopefully with images. If you're holding his NFTs, you're automatically earning from it. You're earning THC, and you can claim that once, I think it's once a day or once every few hours. If it would just hurry up and refresh. Yeah, there you go, Nadu. Got out and has made his own staking app so you can earn from it. And I like his projects anyway, so I like that it does that. I think this is an issue with me right now. It says I'm logged in. But whatever graphic card issues I had has been causing me issues with my browser too, which is just wonderful. So you would normally see all your NFTs and you could claim from here. This is not a Faded Monsuda issue, I don't think. I think this is a me issue. Let me try logging out and then back in and see if I can get it to kick in. I don't think I'm going to be doing any Wax Style Farms or farms at this time because it is a lot of work, and once you set it up, you constantly have to work on it, add to it. It's a lot of work, and I'm looking to do work of a different kind now. Not this. Why is this just not coming up for me at all? Let's try going to the main page. And then, yeah, it says I'm logged in. But when I go here, it acts like I'm not doing anything. And I think that may have to do with my computer. I don't think you guys will. Anybody else use that link? Did you run into the same thing? I should give you the link. Poppin' Stock said, maintaining a token that doesn't go to like less than a penny is very hard. Very few projects have a decent token value. Yeah, Twitchy's doing what he can to keep his value up on his stuff. Faded's doing what he can. But and no offense to them, I hope they both last forever and we're talking about them 10 years from now. But like we saw Dungeon, it's still alive, it's still doing its thing, but many of us don't participate anymore. Wombat Dungeon Master, now you got these. Like, does it last? Doesn't it? Do they support the project? Do they take the project in a different direction? There's a lot of questions, a lot of what ifs. Yeah, Nadu, it's on my end. I restart my computer and it'll work fine. I've got to figure out whatever this issue is I've been having. So whatever shut down the stream earlier, it's not Meld. It's not my streaming, like Elgato software. I think it's a graphics card related issue because afterwards, all my web browsers start acting weird. Yeah, it is Poppin' Stock for sure. That's why many people haven't done it, like you said, for sure. All right, what else are we talking about? Speaking of Twitchy Tides, let's go over there. We've done most everything else, but I want to go to Twitchy Tides, and hopefully the site's going to be working for me after my technical difficulties. We'll refresh and see. Okay, it looks like it's working good. I need a quick bio break, so what we'll do is we're going to talk about Twitchy Tides and blends and breeds and new stuff, but I want to run a game or two first, so while I take a bio break, how about we get you guys in a game? Yeah, I can, Nedu, but I'm not going to go down that road right now. I'll restart the computer and deal with it later. Yeah, absolutely, Walking Miracle. It sure is. Twitchy Tide's your earning tide, which is a coin. You just go about it a little bit differently, how you engage with the farming and the claiming of what you earn, etc., etc. Thank you again, Mello, for those gifted subs earlier. That was extremely kind of you. I appreciate you. I just looked over and saw the reminder. Come on, load it up. I hope this is not a browser issue for me as well, or a computer issue. You can't easily restart the computer in the middle of a stream. Poppin' Stock says I will never have a token. I'm leaning that way myself. I just don't think ultimately for me it makes sense. If I were to make a Wax Style farm, I would try to pay it out in wax or something, so I didn't have to keep up with all that. Come on, computer. No one did anything to you. Let me try this. Let me try restarting the browser. I thought I had an update. Or is that on my laptop? Let's close the browser and reopen it. Maybe whatever issue will. Very true, Walking Miracle, and thank you for understanding that. Some people just never understand that. Did it fix this? It did not. It's loading, just taking time. Every time I think I'm cruising along in the wax space, you guys teach me a whole new thing I've never heard of. I need like an all-day seminar. I mean, part of that is like we haven't talked about wax style farms here in ages. A year? Months to a year? I forget about these things. And then finally it'll come up in conversation. I'll be like, oh yeah. The beauty of it is, in a lot of those cases, I'm still earning because I did the work back then. But then like we just saw, I had a bunch of skunky NFTs that weren't even staked. Yeah, it's fun to learn, and then you can implement where you have time and opportunity. I still think of all the projects that I've participated in, of course, Funko right at the top. I love the Funko stuff. I love skunky stuff. I did love Wombat Dungeon Master, and I thought there was some great stuff going on there, but it just got out of hand, and their team, yeah, just I'm not a fan anymore. I love the Twitchy Tide stuff and learning about it, and now we've got some creators doing their own thing that were in Twitchy Tide space. Like I saw Las Vegas Apes doing a new balloon game and some fun stuff there. He's got his own stuff going. It's ever evolving, you know. Chucky said some people created a farm and paid out with Woofy they had gotten. Woofy gone, farm gone, but people got paid for holding while it lasted. Interesting. Chuck said NFL owners have approved of players playing in flag football in the 2028 Olympics. Whoa, trippy. I'm happy Funko didn't go with their own token when they went with Droppp. Would have probably been a disaster. I don't know. That's a good question. Okay, I gotta wait for this to try and load. I'll be right back. Sorry, I have to go to my bio break. I'll be right back. I think what we're seeing is it's trying, but whatever went wrong with my computer is causing these issues. So we may not be able to even play a Twitchy Tides game today. This is so lame. Let me per Nadu's recommendation, did I ever install Firefox on this? I don't think I did. I think I purposely tried to not install anything else. I hate to do it, but I'm going to try opening Edge. Ugh. And let's just see if we can do anything here. Logging in with an existing wallet, using that. All right, let me jump over here real quick. None of this information is saved in there. So let me bring up my username and password. Okay, let's try that then. Definitely not sharing this, right? Okay. That'd be horrible. Oh, I got the right code. I have to change my password so often that by the time I change it in one place, it's not right in others. I never know which ends up on this stuff. Okay. Approve. Okay, let's see if this works here. Game. Twitch game. This will be interesting if this works. This would then prove my theory that, or one of my theories, that Chrome was a suspect in the problems I've been having. Ziggy, no! Hasbro stock is doing well considering they're leveraging the Magic TCG2. Funko is the best dead IMO for collectors. Yep, this isn't working either. So it's something to do with, yeah, I think that's going to move no matter what. If you just sit here forever, it'll continue to move to give you that idea that something's happening, but I don't think it's really working. Whereas if I go on my Lappy Tappy and I fire up Twitchy Tides, it's going to work just fine. I have no idea why a graphics card issue would cause a browser issue, but there's something going on this computer, and I haven't had the real amount of time to like look into it the way I want. So now I'm trying it on my laptop, and let's see if it takes me into the game here. To be fair, I'm getting just the same screen with the white bar there. Is anybody able to get into the Twitchy Tides game as a streamer? Like, anybody could click on that link. Is it just me? Don't you put that on me, Ricky Bobby. Yeah, I can't get into the game on this laptop either. What is happening? Poppin' Stock or anybody, can y'all try? Can you get in? Maybe it's a system issue and the timing was wrong on my part. They're all trying. Is anyone still there? Did y'all all go home? Did you close your browsers? Did I lose everybody? I'm sorry it was boring. I'm sorry it was so boring. That's it. I'm done streaming, I guess. Oh, okay. So maybe it's me. What's up, Asteroid Eater? It's slow for me when I stream, but I'm Wi-Fi. Or no, I'm hardwired. We're playing Twitchy Tides. No, I get it, Priscilla. Totally. I just wanted to make sure my chat was actually working. I've been so blessed that there's always activity that I don't have to be one of those. I've watched other streamers who have like one person watching and they're like, I don't know if chat's working or not. Like, no one said anything in ages. So no Twitchy Tides games. That's unfortunate. Could be a temporary issue. It might be posted on the Discord. I don't know. Not going to get to research it more. That's unfortunate. I mean, my bandwidth is pretty amazing. We have really good speeds here, so I doubt that, but maybe. And my computer is new. I just think there's something going on with the graphics card. It didn't do this until a couple weeks ago, and then all of a sudden, been having some issues. Let's just close that. We'll come back to test it again in a little bit. But what I wanted to show you guys was there's some new blends and breeds available. And I didn't want you guys to miss out on it. So many people play the game. They don't get to watch Pop Paragon streams. They don't necessarily go to the Discord. They miss out on stuff. Blends. There are blends available. There's a brand new one if you're interested. The Gym Rat Box Bob. This one is an epic, and you can get it by blending some rares. So if you're interested, some people have already done it. I did one earlier. I'm going to have to buy some more assets to do any more blends. But if you want to turn in, I think it's the Octopus Prime, the Cheese Box, Bob Box Fish, the Twitchy, the Love Bug, and Waddles. Those are not easy to come by. You have to get those via blends or get lucky and pull them out of a pack. Of themselves, they're pretty high production NFTs, and they come at a price. But if you blend 4 of them together, you can get an epic Gym Rat Box Bob, which is going to have higher earnings of Tide per hour. And then eventually, I think Jim Rat Box Bob will go into a Grail, is what Pop Paragon was saying. So there'll be an opportunity at a Grail. Don't miss out on these. They're unlimited, so you can blend all day long and get these. There's not a limited amount. However, there are new breeds, and there are limited amounts of those. The breeds go pretty quick. For those of you who may have missed out on some of these fish in previous seasons, you can now go after a Mervape, a Vape Ape, a Stevie Stinger, a Chucky Shrimpies, or a Shark McSharkface. If you look at the market, and we look up Twitchy Tides, and you look up, let me put these two close to each other so it makes sense to me. These are rares, I think. So if we go over to fish and go to rarity, rare. Yeah, these are some of them. The cheapest rares are the Karens at $249, but like Octopus Prime $262. Eventually you get down here enough, we'll see something like the Mervape. Let's just put in Vape Ape. Yeah, look at that. The cheapest one is $7.39. So if you missed out on these before, you would buy them off the market, or you can now go in and do a breed. A breed is going to require, it's like a blend, except for you're not actually giving up your fish. On a breed, you put in some fish and some tide, you wait 15 days, or 16 days, and then you get back the breed result, but you also get back those other fish. They're just temporarily pulled out of your account. So if I wanted to make a Vape Ape, for instance, which, like I just showed you, has pretty good value, has good production for Tide, I could up that. I have a Neon and I have a Gloria, Glow All. Now it's going to take those out of my account temporarily, but at the end of 16 days, I will get those back as well as a Vape Ape. There are only 15 of these available in total, and already 6 have been taken up. If you have a breeding tank, you can do 2 breeds simultaneously to get these. So is there a loss? Is there a reason why I wouldn't do this? I've got a Neon, I've got a Gloria, and I've got plenty of Tide. I've got over 3,000 Tide. I put these items in, I wait the 15 days. It's going to be 15 for me, not 16, because I have a fish that brings it down. Isn't that a great deal? I'm just giving up temporary earnings from these in order to get another rare fish. I'm going to do it. I looked at it earlier and I was like, oh, I don't want to give up a Neon and a Gloria Glow. I forgot that they're just temporarily out of your wallet. Chucky, put the fish in the love tank, the breed tank. Shut off the lights, turn up the music, come back later. You now have another fishy. That's the concept. Yeah, I've noted that as well, Asteroid Eater. Thank you. 1,000 Tide. You got to look long term in the game. I'm giving up 1,000 Tide now, which is worth a few bucks. But in the long run, I will have a higher production rate because I'll get Neon, Gloria Glow, and that Vape Ape back. I put them all in. I'm earning more per hour. So you play long enough over the course of months or years, and that Tide pays for itself. If you're willing to play long term. A lot of people want the immediate satisfaction. But I'm playing long term. So I'm going to say confirm. It's going to take Neon and Gloria Glow out. Oh, I didn't claim and feed my fish like a ding dong. I always tell you guys to do it first, and I didn't do it. Go back to my fish inventory, claim. Got to do that first. Now, right now, I'm earning 8.89 Tide per hour. I just did that blend earlier for the new NFT that I showed you. It's not available yet, but once it is available to stake in a few days, I'll put it in there. That'll put me over 9 Tide per hour. Once I take these 2 out to do the breed, my production value is going to go down. But again, that's just temporarily for 15 days, for a little over 2 weeks. So I'll go back to new breed. I'm going to start that breed. Let's try to start it anyway. Does that make sense? Is anybody totally baffled by the idea of a breed? Does it make 0 sense to you why you would do it or how it works? Happy to help. I've I've run into this problem before. I'm gonna have to find those individual fish and feed them. Neon, Gloria Glow. So let's make sure I do that. Wait, didn't I claim that tide? Did that fail? The vape ape is only 0.085 tide per day, so it will take 420 days to break even. That's a good way to look at it. That's a good way to look at it. I'm fine with that. Long term, also, I could turn around and I could sell that ape on the secondary market, and I'd make more than I would off selling the tide, probably. It's another way to look at it. I don't plan on doing that. What was I doing? I was looking for these to feed. Neon. It's got to be ones I have staked, if that helps. It's got to be fish. That helps. I had this problem once before where I couldn't start a breed to save my life. Oh, there's a neon. So I want to make sure to just go ahead and feed this if I can. I'm not allowed to. Okay. There's another one. Can I do it there? Nope. I may not be doing it. It was Neon and Gloria Glow. Do I have Gloria? Oh, it's Neon that I didn't. Okay. I must not have those staked because she's not as big a producer. So let's try not staked. There we go. Neon. Feed. That's why. That's going to be the difference right there. Let's make sure. Did I have multiple neons? No, they'd be next to each other. I just have one. Okay, let's try one more time. This is one of those things, like, it's a little problematic, but it's enough for some people will give up and some people will push forward. It's a learning. Once you learn, it's usually not the end of the world, right? You figure it out. All right, let's try one more time. Hopefully this works. There it goes. That's what it was. My neon is not a staked fish, so I didn't know it needed to be fed, but it needed to be fed. All right, so now that breed is underway. I can go to utility, active breeds. Yo, what's up, Comic Zombie? How are you now? Welcome to me. Oh, boy. This should show in a second, if it'll refresh, what active breeds I have going. But, okay, there we go. So the timer is started. Because I own the Digital Pop Kingdom fish in the game, it decreases my breed time down to 14 days instead of 16. So I have 2 weeks from today. We'll come on NFTuesday, which hopefully will be an NFT drop from Funko. We'll see if we get another one soon. Around the same time, and I'll be able to claim these, and I'll get back my Neon, I'll get back my Gloria Glow, and I'll get my Vape Ape. Now, I said I had a breeding tank. I can do multiple. If I wanted to, I could do another one of these. I could get another Sharky McSharkface, a Shucky Shrimpies, a Stevie Stinger. Not only do I now would have that Vape Ape after 2 weeks, I could sell. I could also use that towards other breeds if I want, or other blends or breeds if I wanted. It's just a little loan of the fish and 1,000 tide to get me some more rares, which I'm not mad about. Do I want to do a second one? I don't know. I'm going to think about it. These aren't flying out as quick as I thought, so I have a day probably to think about it. 420 days to break even is a lot, to be honest. That's if my only focus is how do I get more tide back. Is the 1,000 tide worth more than the fish? What's 1,000 tide in value right now? I don't think it's that much. Mervape, $7.39. Let's look at what's the swap? You can look at Taco Swap, or what's the one everybody jumps on me that I need to use every single time? It's not Taco Swap. What is it? Alcor? No. Wax on Edge. That's it. Yeah. Well, when I don't use that, boy, you guys let me know real quick. If I wanted to sell 1,000 tide, I hope this isn't broken because of my issues as well. Tide. For wax. So 1,000 tide currently is worth about $3.32 USD. So it's a win for me. Do the breed and get a $7 fish. is worth more than that 1,000 Tide. It's a smart move for me. I'm swapping 1,000 Tide for a fish worth $7. So that's a smart swap. I think so. You look at it however you want to look at it. My first instinct, I'm not gonna lie, I look at these breeds and I'm like, why would I do that? But that's because I thought of it like a blend. I was like, oh, I'm gonna give up a Neon and a Gloria Glow. That doesn't make sense to get a Vape Ape. Now, and I revisit it with you guys, I'm like, oh yeah, it's a breed, not a blend. That makes sense. I'm not giving them up. I'm just temporarily letting the system borrow them. Just did 1, 2, 7 left. Oh, sure enough. So do I want to do one of these other ones? If I'm going to do that, then maybe it makes the most sense for me to look at the value of these other ones. Like, what is a Sharky McSharkface going for these days? Sharky McSharkface, cheaper, $3.18. Would make more sense for me to just buy Sharky. Why? That one's not tied to a streamer. The vape one is. Vape Ape is tied to Las Vegas Ape, and he does a lot of stuff, a lot of education and training, and there's excitement around a Vape Ape. How about a Chucky Shrimpies? I'm guessing it's not going to be that much either. You also have to look at the blend value. Some of these are in blends. $384, not an expensive one either. How about Stevie Stinger? I'm guessing it's right around the same. Yeah, so see, the Vape Ape is definitely the valuable one there. If you're going to do one, I recommend doing that one. Las Vegas Ape has a great thing going with the stream and games and earners. Exactly, see? If I were smart enough and had gotten my own fish in the game, I could be doing some fun stuff with it. The closest I have is Codename Kitty, which I've added value to through the game, so what we play here and what we do. He didn't even have him staked though. Really, Caesar. Yeah, but if we look at that template, Vape Ape. Are there some burned? Yeah, there were 312 originally, 224 burned, leaving 88 total supply. Now, if we look up something like Stevie Stinger, wasn't that what it was? God dang it, my brain. Stevie Stinger. I typed it in, right? Oh, templates. Ding dong it. There we go. How many of those are left? 200 and something. Or almost 200, 190 something. So look at there. There's the thing too. The population, the supply and demand. There are, for supply, there are less of the apes. So that makes sense as well. Pretty sure Pop said earlier the Vape Ape will be used for a future breed. There you go. See, another reason to have those. So that's good information to have. Yeah, right, Walking Miracle? But also look at the epics that you can blend into with the fish you're thinking of breeding. You don't want to have them have all the same. True, yeah. There's a lot of elements you got to look at, right? Like if you're really considering constantly blending up and making better fish and earning more tide, if you're in this for the long haul, you got to think about all these different elements. Does the Vape Ape play into anything like a Grail blend? Can you still do the Grail? There we go. Whaley Grayley. Let's say you want to do a Whaley Grayley, which is a really good producing fish. And I think it gets you part of the earnings of the ads if that gets back up and running on Twitchy Tides TV, right? If you wanted that, you'd need 4 Iron Craig legendaries. Iron Fish Craig. What does that require to get there? We got to reverse engineer. Iron Fish. How do you get the Iron Fish? Was that only through a breed? I don't even remember how you got that one. Anybody remember? Or is it on Nefty blocks? Some of this requires some serious hunting sometimes. Twitchy Tides blends here are ones that don't require tide. Was that ever part of it? These are those early ones, earlier ones. There's the Mervape. There's the Chucky Shrimpies. So you can still do these too to get these fish. Those use scuba shreds. Wait, can you still... Can I just make an ape this way? It was right there on the list, wasn't it? Oh, the Mervape requires the vape ape. That's right. So yeah, if you wanted to do blends for these, like what's a Mervape go for these days as well? There's another way to look at it. If that's one of the last pieces you need to do a Mervape blend, $20. So you gotta look at it that way too. Hunting aspect can put people off, unfortunately, steep learning curve. Yeah, I mean, as I always say, layers. You don't have to learn that until you've been playing the game for a while and you run into a case, you're like, oh, I really want a Mervape. How do I go about that? And then someone can explain it to you, you can figure it out, and then that starts to open up how you understand other parts of the game. I mean, you play any game, whether it's Monopoly or Risk or poker, and you can start real basic, and you can get more complicated when you start to learn the numbers and the mathematical likelihood and why you should put hotels on a certain place, etc., etc. Those don't come into play when you first roll the dice on round one, you know? Whaley Grilly is any combination of 4, Iron Crag, Tank Knight, and Lambo Fish. Gotcha. Okay. So we could look up all those, and we could start to make determinations on, does it make sense for us to do this breed, i.e. do those pieces play into this? Going back to that, if I went back to that breed blend for the whale, and it says it right there below, by the way, gang, I don't have to memorize this stuff. Tanner said, not sure if it's been talked about, but I just noticed the same guy who spent $420 on that turtle grill just bought the #1 BMO grill for $550 today. He's only got 4 cards in his wallet, but obviously believes in the future of NFTs. If everything's on the up and up, and that's just a new person in the space, maybe coming over from Ethereum, that's like, how do these people not realize what they have? Awesome. What I'm concerned about is their market manipulation. Is this somebody who already owns a ton of NFTs, has some money in their pocket, or don't even need it, and they just stood up a new account and they're buying this stuff to try and increase the overall value? It's very possible that that's happening. It's going to require a bit more than one person buying at high values in order for me to believe that we're turning a corner on that. But that's, honestly, if some people came over from the Ethereum world and were like, we're buying NFTs over here, one-on-ones for thousands of dollars, I can pick up on a Funko one for $550, like, I see where this can go. I'm going to dive on it. Either way is possible. I'm definitely not saying that Tanner's coming here with bad info. I'm just saying, that's strong info. What's behind it? Like, let's take it with a grain of salt, you know? Let's see. Ironfish Crag. Why does it only show me those? Does it show... Salty Grains. Why does it only show me that one name? Like, I know it could be any of the legendaries. Is there... That's weird. But I could just look up over here on the market. Twitchy Tides, Market, Fish, Rarity, Legendary. Yeah, so like, look at this. Ironfish Craze, $84. King Claw, $63. I haven't even done that one. I haven't even made that one. Lamborghini, $100. Oh, there's an 80. Tank Knight, $78. Like, there's some strong value in there, but like, I don't even remember how to. I know how to make King Claw, but can I still make a Tank Knight and a Lamborghini, or is that done? Yeah, it didn't look like the box dropped down. I tried clicking all these different areas and nothing. Like, I think if I had the appropriate fish, it would show in there, but it won't let me like even drop down to pick it. Take the news with a grain of salt, but we live in an instant and irrational fear and panic society. Well, I know who I'm talking to. You guys are not all like that. Could there be a scenario where the Ethereum blockchain could take over and buy out the Wax blockchain? I don't know, or I don't think so. I think that would be like trying to integrate an alien tech system with our own. Like, I think those are two very different things. There are bridges where you can take a NFT on the Wax blockchain that's a 101 and you can bridge it over to Ethereum. So I guess there is a connection in some way, but I don't know how those two would ever be the same. No idea. That's over my pay grade. I don't know how that would even work. What I wanted to know is, can I still make a Tank Knight? Can I still make a Lamborghini? Are those possible, or are those completely done? Are we done making those? Anybody know? Peeking, I thought it when I was saying it out loud. I thought about Independence Day. There you go, Darth Wacko. You got it. You get the prize, which is a free NFT. Make sure to fill out the form to get your NU means family, or new means family. All right, let's try Tank Knight. Can I figure out where to make a Tank Knight? I was looking here in these blends, but I don't think it's on this page. There it is, Tank Knight. Yeah, you can still make these legendaries. So what would I need to make a legendary? I made Big Shrimpin', a Froggy Mercury, a Pikachu, and a Chomp. Dang, those aren't cheap either. $8.40. Or was that an offer? That might have been an offer. Yeah, that's offer. Find cheapest. I haven't seen one of these used in a while. $36. That's why the components to even try to make the legendaries to get to the Grail are near gone. Froggy Mercury. Anybody who's got them is using them. Look at that. $42, $36. So technically, theoretically, you could still blend to a Grail, but it ain't gonna be easy. It is not gonna be easy at all, because you got $35 materials to make a Tank Knight, and Tank Knight's just one of 4 you need. So to make a Grail cost you like, what does that go into? 30, 60, 90, 122, 480? Near $500 to make a Grail if you had to buy everything off the secondary market? Doesn't really work. Pretty rare indeed. Pretty rare. And I don't think, like, wait, now the next question is, can I blend up to a Pikachu? I think those were only in packs, weren't they? Oh, nope. So you can work your way backwards. Look at there. Fishy McLightning, Chimichanga, Clownfish, Petey Sharker. I have 3 of them. $5.44. So I could go back further and I could use those, but I'm not at a place to be able to do that right now. Because these are earners for me. Petey Sharker, Clownfish, Chimichanga, they're in the mix, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, you can get lost in it pretty easy. It is complex. Honestly, I feel like with the right, like, you almost could make a tool, and maybe we could do this in ChatGPT. Look at my collection of everything I own from Twitchy Tides and compare that against the blends and breeds that are available and what they produce, and spit out for me what I need to use with the fish I have to blend to get the best return for my dollar. I'll fill in with the necessary, I need to buy this fish, I need to put in this much tide, whatever. But like a tool could be built that would help me understand how I could best use my wallet to get the biggest returns from. Yep, you can end up blending away your earners and leave empty holes. Yep. I have enough fish to get up to a legendary, but the tide cost and tide earning loss is not worth it for me right now. I have a few, yeah. I could do the legendary, I know I can, of that King Crawfish or whatever he is. I've looked at it many times and I have the components, but for me, King Claw, it doesn't make sense to do right now because I'm giving up too much. Or at least I thought I had it. Looks like available 111. Yeah, I'm missing Dot Epic, that's it. Which I thought I had, but. Also saw how the Toy Store royalty is climbing. Rex Epic has sold twice at $27.50 and people were selling those for $4 to $5 day one. Insane, man. I wish I had bought extras of that one. It would have been a great one to have, but I definitely don't. I hate to look through my history and see if I actually sold any of those super cheap too. Yeah, it's crazy. We were looking at it earlier today, Tanner, because I was based on what you've been talking about. You were absolutely right. But then we did run into a wall, Tanner, and maybe you've seen some commentary on this where there is the Sid Pop that's coming. That's an exclusive, a specialty series. And does that impact the price in the long run of the Freddy as Sid? I think it does. I think because people see it as using the same mold, even though it's technically not the same. That really bothers people. So is it going to be worth much more than the $128 price tag or whatever it is right now? Is it going to be over $200 at any point? I would hope, but I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I agree, but what we have to do is take into account how the majority of people see it. And that, you know, if they all see it as not having value, then ultimately it does not have value. So I don't want to risk it for a third one. I have 2 royalty sets on that one, and I feel good about it. I'm happy where I'm at. Okay, I've only got a few minutes left. What did we talk about? We talked about blends, breeds. Oh, battle bowls. Reminder, I've been trying to create a battle bowl every day for you guys to participate in. I got behind, so I've been doing 2 a day for a while. If you go to the lobby, right now there's at least 1 that's already joinable. Max of 100 fishes. This is an NU one, Nerd Unite one. That'll give you, if you get first place, you get the gold trophy, second place silver, third place bronze. Over the course of a month, if you collect enough trophies and you have the most trophies of anyone, or you get the most golds, or you get the most podiums, that will earn you a special award. Darth Wyco's here. He got one. Just yesterday, I did distribute some. Eventually, I'd like to have those be more than just an award, have some additional prizes and stuff. Haven't gotten there yet, but proof of concept, I've definitely been doing it consistently. The only thing I don't do every single day is make the battle bowls, but there's some days where I'll do 2 to catch up with the math. So be sure you play in the battle bowls. Even if you don't win first, second, or third, you still have a chance to win some of the aqua from the pool. For instance, this one is about half full, and it's going to pay out near 30 aqua. Once it gets completely full, it'll pay out near 60 or 70 in total. So that's a way to earn aqua, is just by playing in the battle bowls. All it's requiring is your fish and some energy. You don't have to pay Tide to be in. You don't have to pay aqua to be in. You just find a bowl and participate. I say if you're not an experienced, seasoned veteran, go after the bowls with less hours. You're more likely to be able to get in based on your fish and their energy. If you're going after something that's a 36-hour game, you're probably not going to be able to get in. Nice, Agbonifer. Congratulations. I got one for April, says Darth Wacko. Thank you, Sully. I shouted. I saw that. I didn't get to interact with you. I just happened to see it a few minutes ago when we were jumping between tabs. I got my second set, but if I was going into Toy Story to buy for the future, I'd invest more in the Legendaries or Scud rather than the Freddy. Nice. Is the pack going up? I'm sitting on these packs, and they just haven't budged in value, which is killing me, because everything else in Toy Story is going up. Why are the packs not going up? Doesn't make a lot of sense. I still have 1, 2, 3, 4 premium and 2 standard. It's really killing me here. What is the premium? 49. I was expecting this to be like $100 pack, and it's still sitting at $50. At this price, I'll probably open them. What about Avatar? Avatar 55. It was higher than that. That's a shame, man. When you're talking about that good of legendaries, that good of Grail, and that good of royalty now, why are these packs not netting 60, 70, $80? Nice, Comic Zombie. You do pay Tide in that the fish is not staking. I did say it takes the fish out. It takes the earnings out. Yeah, but another way to word it, and you're absolutely right. Yeah, but you don't have, there's no ante. You don't have to literally pay Tide or Aqua, but you are right. You are right in a way. Okay, I got to wrap it up. Thank you for coming by, Tanner. Thank you for everybody. Last thing I'll ask is, if you would, please, I'm going to give you guys some Sully Bucks, and we're going to raid over to somebody in just a few minutes. Whatnot. If you would, please, if you're already a Whatnot user, in order to help me out, can you please go follow me on Whatnot and bookmark my upcoming auctions? I've got one tomorrow and one Thursday. Here is my link. If you've not used Whatnot yet, don't go through that link and just sign up. Instead, use my referral link and get yourself $15 off for your first purchase. If you sign up for the first time, you've never used Whatnot before, you use my referral link, which I can, let's see, is in this tag here. Sign up and you get $15 off your first purchase, and I get $5 from that same thing. So if you've never used Whatnot before, it's a live auction site. Imagine Twitch, but we're auctioning off items. Pops, some people do pack rips, there's clothes, there's art, there's all kinds of stuff, right? I'm getting new pops for every single live as best I can. I'll get some new ones for tomorrow. I take photos of them. I put them up on the screen. I show the full 360. I point out any errors, any problems. We put up an auction. Often, the things I'm selling are going below PPG. I try to put them up on here before the Whatnot. So, like, if you go to one of the ones I have scheduled, actually, we're in the right place. If you go to one of the upcoming shows that I have scheduled, you can see the items as I list them, and you can pre-bid on them as well. Shows upcoming. Yeah, if you can, please bookmark these. If you see a show I have coming up, you bookmark it, and then when I go live, you'll get a push notification. Not only am I auctioning stuff off, but I'm doing giveaways during the lives as well. You don't have to purchase anything to be eligible to win a giveaway. You just have to be there and hit a little button to enter. After 5 minutes goes by, it spins, and it picks a winner, and then I ship you the prize, no cost to you. That's interesting, Misty. It says everywhere that it would be $15. I'm not sure why yours would be $10. There you go, Comic Zombie, exactly. Chances that I'll change the time for tomorrow? I don't know. I'll have to check. If I do, I'll tweet that out and I'll change it on Whatnot. I think Toy Story, the legendaries aren't as strong, so packs stay low, but the Freddy is like enough for Epic's decline. Interesting, Red Ranger. I think those legendaries are pretty solid, personally. But no games, finest. I have to go at 2. Like right now, I got to close things down so I can make me a quick bite to eat, and I got to go pick up the kiddo from school. There's a bus that she could ride, but it's not a good situation, and we don't like to make her do it if we don't have to. As it turns out, she may have to ride it tomorrow, but it's really not a good experience for her at all. So I try to pick her up from school. Huh. Interesting, Misty. I'm curious if Whatnot will alert people you have saved the live if you change the time. Yes, it will. They told me that specifically. If I have to change the time, your bookmark stays. You'll still get notified when I go live. Yeah. So absolutely bookmark. That's what he told me to do, and that's what I'm doing, is setting up at least a couple of shows out. I've been trying different times on different days to see what works. For instance, I did a Saturday. I thought that'd be good. The numbers were way lower. A lot less people. But maybe a Thursday, Friday, Saturday night, maybe those are better. So I'm going to test and see what happens. But make sure you come by. Oh, will it send you a separate thing to say like, hey, Sully, change the time from 2 to 3? I don't think so. I don't think it'll do that. But you can always go to upcoming shows and look. If you think I said 2, or you saw 2 before, and then I'm not there at 2, you could go to shows and you could see, oh, well, it looks like you changed the time to 3. Sucks that you'd be too early. But if I changed it to 1, you'd get a notification at 1 that I was live. I don't know. There's still, as great as their platform is, there's still a few things where I'm like, I would do this differently. Everybody does that about everything, right? Best time has to be during work hours so people can ignore their work. their chart they gave me says otherwise, but you never know, right? But please, guys, give me a follow. Sign up for an account if you haven't before. This thing's been proven for years that it's a good platform. It's strong. It's going to ask you to put in a credit card. It's not going to charge you anything till you buy anything. This is not that kind of. It's not a scam. Whatnot's been around forever. This company's doing lots of money. Their valuation is through the roof. A lot of opportunity here for sellers and buyers. I signed up, ready to use my 15. Let's go, Randy C. Awesome. Thank you for signing up. Whether or not you use it for me or somebody else is great. It's your $15 to use as you see, please. Comic Zombie. Go figure. When you go to pay for something, they want proof that you can pay. Yeah. Go figure. Weird. All right, let me give everybody some points and we'll raid over to somebody else so I can go make me a smoothie and go pick up the kiddo. Let's figure out who else is on. It is Twitchy Tides Tuesday, and usually we land right in the Welsh Dan range. And I just love his energy. We're going to raid over to him again. I feel bad. I promised this guy an NFT. I have it ready to go. and I haven't had a chance to chat with him to share with him what it looks like. I would very much love to just surprise him right now with it, but I gotta go. I got to go take care of the kiddo, so I can't do it. Black Light Mumra. So that's one of the Funko exclusives. Like I mentioned earlier, not for me. I won't be going in on those unless it's a very specific thing like a Sully or something that I really, really want for multiple reasons. But honestly, I just don't think the hype is going to stay with those. If it does, it's kind of insane because that stuff selling for $240 on eBay when the numbers are higher than a lot of their NFT counterparts is just mind-boggling. How many strawberry shortcakes are there? And they're selling for $240. How many Minnie Mouse Grail NFT pops are there? And what are those selling for? It just makes zero sense. It makes no sense at all. People just don't know about quantities. The supply and the demand doesn't math. It's not mathing. Let me add points to everybody first. We just looked it up earlier. The strawberry shortcake was selling for anywhere from $210 to $240. There were a few higher, a few lower, but we'll do Puzzler for sure. I just gave everybody points, and we're going to raid over to Welsh Dan. Please go hang out. Give him a chance. Have some fun. Engage. Leave the browser open. Actually participate in his streams for a while. You're going to love his energy. He's an awesome guy. Before you just bounce out. Yeah, exactly, Boba James. Exactly. I will be live on Whatnot tomorrow and Thursday, back here on Friday. Please support me if you can on any of the above. If you see my tweets, engage with them, retweet them, heart them, comment on them, all that good stuff. Yeah, see me on Whatnot first. Comic Zombie, it makes 0 cents. 0 cents. I need to tweet about that. All right. Remember to wash your hands, check in on somebody you love, make sure you're doing okay, and above all else, most importantly, Nerds Unite! Bye, everybody. Thank you for being here. Go have fun with Welsh Dan. I got to go make a smoothie. Please tell him I'm sorry I got to raid and run. Oh, he's comparing two cameras. That's cool.